Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. My name is Patrick. You're listening to episode 52. We made it to 1 year's worth of content. Here to celebrate with me are Saif and Steve. Say hi, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Bonjour.
Always fine. Even really for the 52nd episode, still just can't just say everyone, huh?
Why would I say that? But you know what? You're right, Pat. I'm going to start saying everyone in a different language. You're right.
All right. You want to go in French or?
Let's start with Japanese. Minasan, eh?
Wow, that's welcome to the new How to Say Everyone in Different Languages.
Okay, no, hang on.
By Steve, sponsored by
Duolingo.
No, I really don't want a bird holding a handgun.
Okay, so everyone in French is tout le monde, and I apologize to the entire nation of France for butchering that pronunciation.
And Canada and parts of Africa.
We don't care about Quebec. It is what it is.
I am just going to make a note here for myself on how I want to introduce myself to the next episode.
Well, this is going to be a train wreck when Josh eventually comes back to us. Yeah, that was crazy actually. So we're all here from last week, you know, as you heard in episode 51, and then
that's how time works.
True. And then suddenly, I think it was like the Clown College headmaster that needed to take some leave. It was paternity leave, I think. But don't worry, the baby wasn't Josh's, but Josh had to step in as headmaster of Clown College. So, might be back next week. But were you guys also surprised, or did I just miss the memo on that one?
I think we can all. I speak for everyone around here, but when it comes to the classy, Josh is always the headmaster.
It wasn't me this time.
How good is that?
Steve? That's disgusting. But I want to high five you.
Oh, when Steve says it, it's fine. But when it's me.
Hey,
it's a problem.
At least it was clever. Well, firstly, it was clever. Secondly, we made it through more than 60 seconds, which isn't what you were capable of doing last time.
You introduced the Clown College way earlier.
Also, I'm also petitioning to bring back bussin'. So, would you say that classy reference was bussin'?
No.
Is this classy bussin'?
It's clussin'.
Sheesh.
For real, no cap, etc., etc.
It actually almost sounded like, well, at least on my end, it sounded like the microphone clipped on that sheesh. But anyway, yeah, Josh will be hopefully back next week, which unfortunately means we're still gotta wait another week for that sweet Pokemon Scarlet Violet that we're all gonna be talking about here on Fast Travel Lounge. Might as well do a quick update before around the lounge though. Where's everybody at? I've finished it, which I think was where it was at last.
Yeah, last week you said you hit credits.
Yeah, well, hit credits. Did, as far as I know, everything in the post game other than completing the Pokédex, and for that I'm 300 caught, 355 battled, I think.
Ooh, fuck, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've hit credits.
Talking at the same time now, Matt.
Yeah. Okay, I've hit credits. I've done a little bit of the post game, but not a whole lot of it. And yeah, I'm like 230 deep into the Pokédex. 235 maybe. So I'm getting there.
Yeah, I've hit credits as well. I did the post game, and I'm currently in construction of my living decks. That's always fun. Just a bit of time. I think I'm at 300, I think. I'll probably have to jack some poor kid's Scarlet copy he got so I can get those sweet exclusives, but it do be like that, especially with Pokemon game.
Yeah, you're going to actually need to jack a copy so you can get your own living Koraidon.
There's like link codes and stuff, or I can just go over to your house and brick you.
I've been confused by that, because if you trade it away, do you just no longer have a motorcycle?
No, so... Which, I guess, spoilers. I'll beep that out.
But then what if you... No, I know, that's further.
Interesting. I haven't done that. Okay. There is something more for me to do in that game. Sweet. Well, anyway, as I said, hopefully that discussion will come next week. Yeah, apologies. And on the back of that, it's basically all I've been doing. So this might be a shorter episode, but we'll see how we get on. So in the absence of Pokemon... around the lounge time. Steve, what have you been up to?
I have been dividing mankind in Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. It turns out
Do you play as the divided mankind, or are you the divider?
Well, technically, you're a heavily augmented human being, so the actual division, as it would mean to imply in the game's title, is he's just divided, and you can hear the air quotes I'm using, between his humanity and him actually being a real life robot.
Oh, so it's the canonical destroy ending to Mass Effect 3.
Yes, and it's set in Prague.
Just
Everybody
like
wants
Mass
to go.
Effect 3. No,
So the ghost really was.
Seth, what have you been up to?
Mostly Pokemon, but I've also watched a couple of movies here and there. So this week I'm going to talk about Enola Holmes, which is a fairly recent movie, and the sequel came out this year.
Is the sequel already out?
Yeah, the sequel came out earlier this year, and I will get to that at some point.
You know what? I will too. We all get to everything eventually.
How have you been doing this last week, Patrick? Anything new for you?
Yeah, what the Pat doing?
What the Pat doing? Good question. I so got to credits last week in Pokemon. Basically, still only really been playing Pokemon. So ran around picking up doing some easy pickoffs for my maybe not living decks yet, but Pokédex. But while doing that, went through the entire series of Silicon Valley just to have something on the second screen, which quite enjoyed. Probably
hang on. Whoa. You play like your Switch on like a monitor or something at your battle station? Interesting.
In my little licensed Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Disc.
That's what a Switch is, right? Just not split up as much.
Exactly.
Keep putting cards into the USB-C slot. Keep yelling at me.
Summon. So did that, and also on the back, I actually have no idea when this game came out, but a friend recommended a couple months ago How to Snail as like a fun indie game, which I've started, and I'm maybe halfway through, but
I've not heard of this at all.
No,
must be slow as a snail on that one, eh?
Yeah, wow, so slow. I would rather wait to actually. Yeah, this is kind of the round the lounge of me having like played a little bit of a lot, because haven't finished How to Snail, so I want to finish that before I review it. Finished Silicon Valley, but there's not really a huge amount to talk about.
Before we move on, so if you Google How to Snail in using everybody's favorite search engine, Microsoft Bing,
what?
You just get snail farming tips.
Let's not ask Jeeves.
Well, you got to get those reward points up so you can buy bootleg DLC from the Microsoft store. That's why I use it. That's all. Got to do my rewards points today as well. I like Microsoft.
And played more Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Did you finish that yet, or not yet?
I don't think so. I think I'm close. I'm in the anomaly where the dimensional key is hit, where the dimensional map is hidden.
Okay, you're pretty close.
The game feels like it's coming to the end.
Yeah, you're getting there.
Getting there. Sweet. So I will review some or all of those at some point. Maybe I'll hit Silicon Valley for 5 minutes at the end, depending on how we go for time. But before we get to that, why don't we start with
Spin the wheel, Pat.
I did. It landed on Enola.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Enola Holmes is a movie that came out 2022. 2020. Sorry, 2022 is when the sequel came out. Our favorite actress from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown, is playing Enola Holmes, the titular character in this movie. She is the sister of everyone's favorite detective, Sherlock Holmes. And this is just kind of putting a spin on the Sherlock Holmes storylines of going, hey, you know what? What if he had a sister that was equally as smart as him, and was kind of like pushed off to the side for 16 years of her life, and suddenly got thrust into his life because her mother disappeared.
Well, what would it be like if that happened, Seth? That's a very odd set of circumstances.
It is an odd set of circumstances, and the answer is complicated, because...
So before we get started, I realize I've been asking a bunch of questions and my microphone's been on mute.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just start saying all my questions again very funnily. So who plays Sherlock Holmes?
Henry Cavill.
Then the Witcher himself, eh? Well, not anymore.
Superman himself.
The guy that reloads his arm.
Yeah,
his arms.
Bet me to it. The Mission Impossible arms reloading man himself.
Arms Impossible. Yeah, sorry, I did mean to interrupt. Continue.
Actually, can we agree if they do a live action movie of Arms after the success of Super Mario Brothers that we get Henry Cavill to play Spring?
Everyone.
Yeah,
You know
true.
what? Just for that, I'm going to Google
Springman?
world's
Springman.
longest
Hey.
arms. Chris Clemens. I don't know who that is. I don't know why I thought I know these people.
I
Never
mean,
mind.
They
Probably a
get
basketball
a
player.
cameo, surely.
Maybe. I don't know. Probably a lot of basketballers have long arms. Getting all those alley oops, all those slam dunks. Anyway, here we are derailing Sherlock Holmes. Actually, I will derail you one more time. I've read all of the Sherlock Holmes books because I was a weird teenager. And
He's
that's
just
one
on
of
the
my
roll
favorite.
today.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Continue. I will sit here and critique you.
I don't know what I would be critiqued on because I I haven't read the books myself. I want to.
They're a fucking slog. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, okay. So it says this movie specifically is based on the case of the missing Marquess and Enola Holmes mystery by Nancy Springer.
I think it's pronounced Marquis, my dude.
What did I say, Marquess?
Yes.
Marcus Brownlee.
I don't know who that is.
Steve, making fun of my pronunciation aside, so the
You'll get
setup
me
of the
later.
movie is that Enola's been raised in isolation with her mother for about 16 years, and her mother's like taught her everything. She's made her extremely book smart. She's taught her chess. She's taught her how to defend herself with jiu-jitsu, and basically making her a strong, independent woman. And on her 16th birthday, her mother goes missing and she gets left in the care of Mycroft, specifically. Like, Sherlock is there as well, but Mycroft is technically the legal guardian, and he finds her to be brutish and unsophisticated and unladylike. So he's very traditional, and he wants to go send her to a girls' school where she'll learn how to be a proper woman and be the perfect wife for someone. And his entire vision for her is she'll go off and get married, take someone else's name, go have kids, and that'll be her life. And she absolutely despises that and wants to get away from that as much as she can. So she runs away from home and gets caught up in a mystery about this boy getting multiple times attempted murdered. The mystery is on why he's why they're trying to murder him. What
Is
happens?
the mystery not like why they're so terrible at murdering what seems like just a standard run-of-the-mill kid?
No, not really. It's more, why do they want to murder him? No one cares about why they're so bad at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's hardly like when I get in my car. It's not about why I want to run down the kid. It's just that if it happens, it's not attempted.
No, this is very much more about why it happened rather than the act of it happening.
Interesting angle.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a different angle to take, I guess.
But yeah, so
Is there a point where she's quizzing the boy on why so many people are trying to kill him, and then he explains it, and then she turns to the camera and just like Jim stares straight in the camera and says, "Stranger things have happened."
not that specifically. But there is fourth breaking in this movie, and she does stare into the camera every now and then and make comments. So she does Jim stares, but even more in your face about it than a Jim stare would be.
Yeah, but
Well,
does she
they're
specifically
intentional.
say the
They
line,
are.
"Stranger things have happened"?
She does. I do not recall her ever saying stranger things have happened. No, which
So this
is a
takes
shame.
place before Stranger Things. Interesting.
It is in the 1800s, so yes.
So canonically, this is the prequel to Stranger Things.
Yes, Millie Bobby Brown somehow time travels from the 1800s to 1980s and de-ages.
I mean, to be fair, you're walking along and your time machine says 1980s and you accidentally hit 1890s because you're dyslexic and you're like, oh, I guess I'm in Enola Holmes now.
Wait, but then wouldn't this make this a sequel?
Hey, I don't know, man. It's your story.
Is this why Steve's critiquing me? Is this my story now? When did I write a Hollywood movie?
Well, really, it was called Seth Holmes, but I think that changed the name, didn't they?
Wait. Seth.
Yes.
Jim stare into the microphone and say Stranger Things have happened.
Stranger things have happened.
Holy shit. Was that chills? Anyone else? Chills.
Man, that was the best piece of audio content we've ever done. There, I said it.
And you know he's serious too. We've after this we'll have done 52 episodes. Technically 50, like 4 or 55 if you count ones that will never see the light of day. But
some on purpose not seeing the light of day, some accidental, and we're kicking ourselves for it.
It do be like that.
We're not kicking ourselves.
It do be like that though.
But yeah, while she's trying to figure out why this guy is why everyone's after this guy, she's also trying to find out where her mother's gone, and because her mother taught her really good word games trickery, she finds out that her mother's been leaving clues in newspapers for her, and she's been using those to try and track her down. So yeah, that's all I kind of want to say about that without getting too deep into spoilers for the movie. But overall, I thought it was a really good movie. It kind of highlights, like, it tries to highlight a turning point in England, fictional of course, but a turning point for making women's rights happen, and just trying to use this movie to highlight that a little bit, and that's pretty fun as well, pretty good to see. And yeah, just having Millie Bobby Brown actually does a really good job in this. Like, she kills it in Stranger Things, and she's killing it here as well.
Sweet. The only thing.
Whoops, sorry, I was muted again. Fucking, what's so wrong with my brain?
So that's probably me just making sure that you shut the fuck up for minutes on end.
Probably for the best, to be honest.
When was the sequel out?
Sequel came out this year.
Yeah, but like when this year?
November the 4th, my friend.
Oh, okay, so it's really recent. I thought it was a little earlier.
Recent. I knew it was coming out. I thought it was coming out later. It was definitely on my radar because I really enjoyed the first one.
So I remember seeing, because there's been quite a lot of, I guess you call it like behind the scenes footage of Stranger Things, I guess season 4, and like them filming it and them having a good time on set and stuff. And the only thing that I know about Enola Holmes, specifically the sequel, is that there was some interview that came out where Millie was like, yeah, I try to like have fun and be a goofy kid with Henry on set, and Henry's just like, shut the fuck up and do your job.
There we go. That
not that mean, but
not
Henry is,
not in like a harsh way.
But Henry is very much like, just stay in your lane. Let me reload my arms in peace.
I've got to go home and play The Witcher.
I got to record another PC build shirtless.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we talk about for a minute how it's unfair that a man that handsome is into so many things that are typically considered for nerds?
No. Yes. Oh. We're all going to make it, fellas. How old's in Henry Cavill? That's
give me 1 second. He is 39.
Fuck, we got ages, fellas. I was at the gym today, and I was talking to the trainer, and I'm like, yeah, I've got 2 days to...
Did you reload your arms?
No, I didn't. But I've got 2 days to get ripped with an 8-pack and get 4% body fat. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, all right.
And then it turns to you and he's like, so PC build shirtless though?
Well, I'm a console gamer, so sitting on the couch playing console shirtless.
So once your Xbox gives up and dies and you have to replace parts of it, you can just do that shirtless.
I think that voids the warranty.
The trick is not to shower for like 3 days, and then in the video we can't tell if it's an intentional shirtless build or if it's just another upset angry gamer.
All gamers smell the same, so there you go. That's Cavill's worst flaw. He probably stinks.
That's why my gamer branded deodorant didn't take off.
The Henry Cavill being a huge nerd thing is similar but very, very different energy to Ronda Rousey being a huge Pokemon fan.
Yeah, and
she is, but like she's
also a huge Dragon Ball fan. She loves Vegeta. And
there was someone else who's also, I don't know if they were as high profile in UFC, but they're also just like a big, maybe it was just like a big anime fan or something, and they kind of look unassuming, like not lanky, but not like could kill you with one punch type thing. And so, you know, like them in defense mode, them like having fun goofing off and talking about anime, and then them in attack mode is them like beating you to death with your own arms.
Are you talking about the guy that after knocking someone out in UFC, he got a hat, put it on backwards, and threw a Pokeball at his opponent while they were down?
What?
I don't know if all of that happened, but I know there was a guy that like while his opponent was down, he threw a ball at them like it was a Pokeball.
Holy
rolled it
shit.
at them.
Right.
That's amazing. Was it just a Pokeball? Or, because, I mean, you know, unless, I guess, no, but hang on. Wait, hang on. It doesn't work. If the opponent's knocked out, then well, if the Pokemon's fainted, you can't catch it.
Maybe like a flinch is probably the best word. Yeah, he does. He does.
I'm gonna have to download this and put this on the video version. Yeah, they pass him a Pokeball hat as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It might be the same guy. I don't know, but it's just funny where there's like this
Michael
weird
Venom.
intersection.
Michael Venom Page.
The name means nothing to me, but
Okay.
it's just interesting that there's this like set of like people that I aspire to be in terms of people that you don't think are nerds but are secretly huge nerds, and you look at people that you think are nerds and are huge nerds and you go, you fucking disgust me, get out of my way. And also shower.
Please.
It's me picking up.
That's funny.
That's why I only order digital these days. Don't have to have a shower or anything. There, I said it.
You're just lucky that the Game Pass doesn't require a breathalyzer, but for like BO. Right. Anything more that you want to mention?
Odolizer.
Anything more?
We'll workshop it.
I think it's like an 8 out of 10 movie. I thought it was really enjoyable, and I recommend people check it out, which is why I didn't want to go too deep onto spoilers for it. Just kind of give a setup.
Is that the one that was done with Netflix? Because I think
it was
I saw
done with
Enola
Netflix.
2 being available on Netflix. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Nice.
Both of them were done through Netflix.
Sweet. All right. Well, now we get to see if Steve can divide opinions as much as he divides mankind. Deus Ex, take it away.
All right, fellas. When you close your eyes,
Really?
it's story
Nothing?
time.
Well, Patrick, that was such a good segue. Oh, don't worry about it, guys. Thanks. It was only,
Man,
I've only been thinking about it constantly for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah, they should really call it Patrick X. Patrick Divided. Fuck, I should have said Patrick Divided. Fuck, give me... Oh, whatever, it's fine. All right, story time, fellas. Close your eyes.
My eyes are wide open.
All right, cool. It's an audio medium. So it's 2017.
Oh, God. Bring me back.
It's a simpler time. Twitter is still not owned by Elon Musk. So you see Deus Ex Mankind go on sale for $22, and you think, I really enjoyed the first Deus Ex, or as in the reboot Deus Ex.
Human
I'm
Revolution.
going to get this. Human Revolution, thank you very much. I struggled for a bit. I really enjoyed playing that. I'm going to get this. So you pay the money, you bought it online, so you wait for it to download, and then you move out of home, and the house that you're living in has no internet. No dramas. You plug it in, whatever, it's already downloaded. You go to boot it up. Sorry, you need to be connected to the internet.
Oh, no, not console DRM.
Yeah, and this is in that weird stage where like nobody really cared about it just yet. It's changed now, thank God.
You know when they were first announcing the Xbox One?
Yeah, fine. Well, it's different when it happens to me. So after paying this $20 for this game, you play it and it says literally no. So I lived at that place for 6 months, so I'll just keep it installed on the Xbox and I'll eventually get to it. Now fast forward to 2022. You've upgraded to an Xbox Series X. You've gone through
life is going pretty poorly, huh? Like
it's going
life
pretty
really
great.
kicked you when you were down. First 2017, now this.
Life is strange, some might say.
You own a Series X, you also own a Series X fridge.
Well, okay, so before you get the Series X, you get the Xbox One X. You get the Glacier White edition. You go through 2 of those because they just have hard drive problems, and Microsoft replaces them with free.
You and anyone else that's listening, yeah, this might be rock bottom, but it's okay. It's always darkest just before the dawn. You can only fail upwards from here.
Yeah, and then the Xbox Series X comes out, so then you get that. And then you're looking at games to download.
Okay, so I lied. So there is something under rock bottom. You just hit it, but don't worry. With help, we can turn it around. There's
the
still
Series
time.
X is the flotation device. So on launch day...
Something that big and that heavy, I don't think can be a flotation device.
It's not heavy, you're just weak. There's too much Microsoft bullying. Can we please remind the listeners that some of us may or may not be financially invested in their success?
I thought you sold all of it.
I've got like 1 share and it's worth like $3. It was like not even 1 share, it was like half, 0.2 of a share.
Okay, we'll stop for now because there'll be more Microsoft bullying in the news docket.
Oh no. Well, I've got shares in Sony because I'm double dipping.
Where's all the shares in the PC market?
When's the PC2 coming out? Anyway,
PC so good it doesn't need a PC2.
I keep telling yourself that. Anyway, so it's 2020. You've got the Series X. It's whatever generation it is now, and you can finally.
Am I married with a wife and kids in this hypothetical reality?
No, that never happened. Sorry.
You never got
What do you
married.
mean, sorry, that sounds awesome.
You also didn't get a pay rise to match your new needs.
The way you stress the word needs is terrifying in that sentence.
You got that doll with the gorilla grip. So it's launch day of the Xbox Series X. You're looking for the games to download, and you download Deus Ex Mankind Divided. It sits on your console for literally 2 years, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to play it. And then so you do, and you're like, oh, this is okay, I guess. It is so much similar to the first Deus Ex Human Revolution that at one point I'm like, oh, did I, like as I'm going through the cutscenes, I was like, oh, did I download the wrong one or something? But no, and I can't really work out if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think I'm about like 13 hours into it so far.
If it wasn't broken, then they didn't need to fix it.
Yes, but they haven't even changed any of the game mechanics. Like they literally, because in Deus Ex, for those that don't know, you're playing an augmented human, Adam Jensen, and the way it's like a RPG type of style of game where you get points, praxis kits technically, that you can use to upgrade your augmentations. And as all the way these games do, you start off with all the upgrades unlocked, and then something happens and you've got to be factory reset, and you have nothing.
Oh, my favorite one of those is when you open up Metroid Prime and Samus just lightly hits her back on the wall. I
can't remember that far back. Good game, bud. But then it turns out, so you've got the same upgrades if you have as the first game, but then there's like, oh, wait a minute. Because it's been a 6-month progression since the last game, you've got a bunch more upgrades. And then these weird upgrades that are very powerful, and I choose not to use because I'm so used to the game experience from the first game. I'm like, hey, I remember all these other type of things. I'm just going to put them into what I know because I remember it. Because it's been like 10 years and I still have weird muscle memory for that type of game. And I think that's the core of the problem with Mankind's Divided. It has played it so safe that
it's not even like notable on its own 2 feet.
Yeah, it's notable on it's not notable on its own 2 feet. The things it does well are the same things that the first game did well. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a little bit disappointing because they took no risk. The combat's essentially the same. You can either choose to pretty much go all out, guns blazing, or go sneaky and sort of take everybody out without making a scene. And then you can find different sort of journeys around the little map areas you're in to skip enemies. The hacking minigame is exactly the same, to the point where I skipped through the tutorial and I knew exactly what I was doing. They didn't evolve that. Like, it's an alright minigame, but it's you could have taken it a bit further type of thing. There's a weird sort of speech conversations persuasion system that's exactly the same as the first game. And it definitely feels like it's just that weird thing of
it seems like it's iterative rather than making like a substantial sequel. Like they just took the base of what worked and then just added more on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. They've had a rectangular prism and they put another rectangular prism on the top and they've been like all of it. There's no change. There's no.
They realized they could put the square peg in the square hole and the circle peg in the square hole.
Yeah, like it fits. And like, why would you change it to, or why would you get another hole out type of thing? Which is, it's just disappointing. Like, it's not a bad game at all. I'm actually really enjoying it. But it just feels like there's a lot of things that it's like, okay, this, like the inventory system, I think is pretty dated. Because it's one of those ones where it's like you've got a certain amount of squares and items take up a certain amount of squares on the screen type of thing, if that makes sense. So, for example, I think you start off with 60 squares and a gun will take up about between 40 to 50. So that if you're carrying a gun, you've already used a lot of your inventory space, unless you upgrade your inventory carrying capacity, and then it sort of works like that. And it just feels a bit antiquated. They could have done it like the Skyrim Oblivion Fallout way, where it's like it's weight, but this is like space. And then you don't really have autonomy of that space Well, that I'm aware of anyway, because there's a couple of times that I've gone to pick up something and it's like, oh, you can't carry this, but I know if I reorganized my bag in a certain way, I'd be able to pick it up and it would fit. But it doesn't let you do that. Not that I can see anyway. Maybe PC gamers with their mouses and clicks and all that kind of stuff can do it. I haven't found a way to do it on the Xbox. So I've just upgraded the carrying capacity.
I mean,
but yeah,
that,
so even
that sort of makes sense though, right? Because you can't, like, let's say I don't know, a thing of Eclipse mints takes up 1 square. You can't really carry more than, I mean, even 60 Eclipse mint boxes might be kind of high, but like you'd be able to manage the weight of that many Eclipse mint boxes. It would just be really hard to like carry them all. Yeah,
I guess that maybe in real life, but this is a video game, so it's just a frustrating gameplay mechanic that carried on from the first one. Maybe people like those games. Maybe they do.
The question that I have is that I think I have Mankind Divided somewhere, probably in a Steam library or something, but I haven't played it. But I really enjoyed Human Revolution. Unfortunately, because of how old it is now, I don't remember I remember bits of the story. I don't remember a huge amount, but I seem to remember the ending of it being fairly self-contained, right? It didn't leave... I don't remember feeling at the end of Human Revolution that I really wanted, that I needed a part 2, or that there were still unanswered questions. So what if it's basically the same game continued? How does it address that? Well,
and see, this is sort of my thing with it as well. I couldn't really remember, but it is really good. Like when you start up a new game, it does say, do you want a recap of the previous game? And I was like, yes, I do. So essentially, it ends with Adam Jensen stopping the Illuminati's plan of having all the augmented human beings go nuts and killing everybody, essentially. But he stops it like a little bit too late, so they have run rampant a bit. And it is sort of picking up where that sort of left off with there is a very big divide between those that have augmentations and those that do not. And I think it's actually used in the game. It's kind of like a weird cybernetic apartheid. Like those that...
Saif, didn't Infamous 2 do this?
Infamous 2 kind of touched on that. Very, very, very... It was the main focus of the story, but it felt like it was also kind of an aside part that wasn't focused on too much, if you know what I mean. It like... The whole premise of the villain side is that the superpowered people are going to be against us and take over, and we as unsuperpowered people need to band together and kill them all. But at the
logical response, really.
Yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like that was focused on as heavily as it could have. It was just that is the villain's motivation.
Well, that sounds like it's very sort of similar to Deus Ex.
It's just interesting that it all came out at the same time, because I'm also thinking Legend of Korra Season 1, where Amon was was like, you know, we must all be equal, and I must take away all the Bender's powers. And then at the end, it's like, actually, I'm just a waterbender that knows bloodbending and can fuck with people's chi. Psych! And then...
Yeah, what a scam that was.
The only thing I know from Legend of Korra was the fact that there's this one guy that knows bloodbending and it's fucked up.
It's pretty old. That's all.
Wait. Of all the things that you could have possibly known about Legend of Korra, why is that the one thing you know about Legend of Korra?
I don't know. It's just the one time I saw a clip from Legend of Korra, it was the guy that was doing bloodbending, coming in and just fucking up someone's entire body and making it bend all over.
She rides a polar bear dog called Naga, and you're like, yeah, so there's this bloodbender.
Bloodbending's...
They have the sick... I don't remember the sport.
I also know the sport, yeah.
Yeah. They have the sick sport and everything, and you're like, so the bloodbender though.
Listen, bloodbending is kind of fucked up if you think about it.
Airbending at the same time.
Airbending is also kind of fucked up if you think too hard about it.
Well,
take the air out of someone's lungs. What are they going to do? Breathe in?
Well,
No,
I mean,
well, that's one of the guys does that.
it's funny you mentioned that. I feel like you have actually seen Legend of Korra and you're just fucking with me because that's literally the plot of season 3.
I haven't.
Man, that's the
I've
best
only
season.
seen little bits of season 1.
Three or 4? How many seasons of Legend of Korra are
4.
there?
There's 4. There's 4 seasons.
There's 4.
Yeah.
Because
the first one's about
because Kuvira's the 4th one, yeah?
Yeah, and there's a time skip after the 3rd one. Yeah, it is Kuvira, yeah. And she has a short hair.
Yeah. So Zahir taking out the Earth Queen is season 3. Yeah, so congratulations, Seth. You've stumbled your way through like multiple major plot parts to media that I consumed in the 2010s, and you're
I'm saying them as jokes.
Yeah, you're saying them as jokes, and me trying not to talk Pokemon spoilers, but wanting to say your hidden abilities unaware.
Okay, that was good. That was really good.
Thank you. See, unfortunately, I now I now have more respect for Seth because I'm now imagining him as a Clodsire, which I mean,
based
respect goes up, but I don't know if I can do that.
Ground poison and water absorb. Thank you. I will take this W.
It'd be unaware though.
I know, but the chance to have water absorb, so it just takes away one of my weaknesses. It's also kind of nice.
Grass types have entered the chat. Actually, no. Grass poison.
Yeah, poison resists grass.
Unfortunately, ground does not resist ground.
Yeah, it's not like triple effective or the 4 times. Anyway, back to Human Revolution, and by Human Revolution I mean Mankind Divided. I'm getting confused here.
Clodsire is weak to ground, water, psychic, and ice, but with the water absorb, it takes away that water weakness.
Interesting. Anyway, Mankind Divided. Pokemon chat next week.
The loser has entered the chat to fuck up Clodsire's day.
Oh, base Pokemon, actually. That's on my take. Anyway, Mankind Divided. The story is very good. It has a lot of like weird themes in a sense of the discrimination faced by people with augmentations is like, this is, you're really putting augmentations in the place of people of color, eh? But it does it in like a good way of...
And like an over-the-top, like beats you over the head with the analogy type way?
No, not like that. It's just...
Wait, when did we start talking about Detroit Become Human?
Well,
what do you mean? I thought we were talking about It Takes Two.
Anyway, have you even played that yet?
I have.
Patrick has, I haven't.
I've been waiting for you guys to finish it so we can talk about it. It was Game of the Year last year, and I said I finished it like 4 months ago, and I had thoughts.
Josh and I still need to finish it. We got halfway. Maybe we'll play with Seth instead. You busy, Seth?
Busy with Pokemon.
Oh, all right. I'll take this one. Fine. I'll play with Josh. Fine. But yeah, anyway, Mankind Divided. The story is like fantastic. It feels, I wouldn't say the word real, but you can definitely tell it has used real world inspiration for things that have happened as a way to tell its own story and narrative. And I can sort of see it getting a bit, because I'm about 12 or 13 hours through the game, I reckon. It sort of does get to that point where it's like, okay, I'm sort of surely something else is happening in this world apart from all this augmentation stuff. But because it has been such a big event, and because ironically Adam Jensen is completely augmented to the point that he no longer has like a body or anything, everything's just metal. It's sort of, but no one gives him a hard time for being augmented. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm the main character. Like, nah, I'm all right. But as opposed to you're walking through the street and like guards are just hassling people with like prosthetic arms or asking them for permits and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I really like the story. I think it's very engaging, especially probably even more so because it gives you that recap of the first one. I would probably recommend playing the first one and then seeing if you enjoy it before playing the second one, because it's essentially more of the same. It just sort of takes the story a bit further, but not really the gameplay. But the gameplay's solid, I guess. I'm just a bit disappointed. Nothing different.
So what you're saying is it wasn't worth the 5-year wait?
I didn't say it wasn't worth the 5-year wait. It just feels a bit like I was hyping myself up. And this game, I recall anyway, was genuinely well received. But obviously nothing's really happened because there's been no other sequel. Like,
is there a moment when you can make a god's wish come true when he says crazy how our buddy, I don't know, Jared or whatever his name was, got killed by a vending machine, and it just so happens that there's a vending machine around the corner from the god that's saying that, and it just so happens that you have the I can pick up vending machines augment.
And when that happens, does Adam Jensen Jim stare into the camera?
And he
I
says,
don't know if this is a
and he
reference.
says that this is how we revolutionize humans, and then throws the vending machine.
You truly will be a vending machine divided, and he rips it in half.
But no, it's a moment in when you're in Shanghai in Human Revolution where there's just like two guards standing by a door, and one of them's like, "Yeah, killed by a vending machine, absolutely crazy." And so then you walk around the corner, pick up the vending machine, and you're like, "Well, it's your lucky day."
I'm sure that was funny.
Memories.
But yeah, I recommend it.
fun.
I'd probably, given it how much I've played it, probably a 7. I think really I've set my expectations high for this game. I think I expected it to revolutionize the first game, and it doesn't. It's more of the same.
No, that was what the first game is. Human
No,
Revolution.
it was revolutionizing humans,
Yeah, it's
not
in
me
the title.
specifically.
What, you play the second game, you're like, man, mankind doesn't feel divided at all.
Well, no, I feel like from the
But
second game.
Steven's feelings are divided.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, there you go, Seth. You close the book. Let's give this train wreck of a review to a close. Go get it, but get it for cheap. Get the first one first. I'm not sure if the first one's actually available anywhere anymore.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's still available on Steam. That's what I played it on.
Yeah, it probably is, to be honest. But if you wanted it on like a better, more comfortable experience, like a console or something. Actually, the Xbox probably does. I think it came out for the Xbox One, actually. First one. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Actually, it's kind of because that was IDOS, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, IDOS Montreal.
Yeah. Rest in peace, guys.
Yeah.
No, I
or
think
are they
they're
the ones
still
surviving
okay. It
the
was a
merge?
different IDOS branch that got shut down.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Phew.
Well, it's got Square Enix all over it, so I thought they absorbed.
Would hate to see
IDOS.
mankind divide the development studios. I said,
Boo.
Oh, speaking of good segues, Pat,
yeah.
do you have one for us?
Oh, no. No, I used all of my good segue juice in segueing from Seth to you. But given that we have a little bit of time and I've already mentioned that I'd talk about it, might as well hit Silicon Valley super quickly, just because chances are I'm not going to bring it up again in future. First of all, have either of you seen it?
No.
The place or the TV
No,
show?
it's the TV series. You fuck. God damn it.
Patrick, when did you go on a trip to America?
I can't believe that Steve managed to get to go to the set of Silicon Valley.
Well, actually, I didn't. It's in California, it looks like. But
It
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm revving you up now. Let's go.
So yeah, you haven't seen it.
No, I have not seen it.
Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna look up when it came out.
2014. Premiered on HBO on my birthday, April the 6th, 2014.
Wow, you better dox yourself there.
It's probably like,
Happy 8th
Statistically
birthday.
Yeah, I can't believe you're 8 years old.
what makes you guys all perverts?
We never sexualized you. What?
You guys are talking about some stuff. Not appropriate. This podcast have a age rating? Does now 8.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Move on. I thought that was a joke there, and obviously there wasn't. Hey, you were talking about that Gorilla Crib doll before.
I was going to say, I don't think we've ever gone that insane, but then I remembered there was that whole MILF discussion at one point.
I'm telling.
Yeah,
Telling who, Josh?
The people that made Silicon Valley. That was a great segue.
It was. So it came out, you're right, 2014. Ran for 6 seasons. It's an interesting show. I wanted to watch it because YouTube and the gods that run that algorithm, every so often would just serve up like a clip from the show and it'd be like, oh, that's funny. And it's funny that it's now taken me to watch the entire series to realize that almost all the clips that it showed me were from like the final season or two. And so it was quite organic watching the first 4 seasons going, I haven't seen any of these clips. Basically, it follows so first of all, with a name like Silicon Valley, you're probably thinking like some kind of docu-series or some other kind of grounded reality thing. Not. Entirely sitcom, like American sitcom style show about a bunch of nerds that come up with a really cool compression algorithm and turn it into a startup in Silicon Valley. It's got a few people that I've recognized from some stuff, but I don't know if any of them would be considered famous. Like, weirdly, I recognized the main guy from College Humor back when I watched that in like 20.
College Humor, wow.
Yeah, that was like
Man,
2000.
what are they doing now?
2009 to 2013, 14-ish days. He was on a couple episodes, I'm fairly certain. And the other one, TJ Miller, who weirdly, it took me ages. So TJ Miller plays probably one of my favorite characters in the context of the show, Alec Bachman, just this bombastic, like, crazy guy up to just crazy fucking antics. Very funny to watch. And the whole time I was watching it, I couldn't figure out where I'd seen him before, but he looked kind of familiar. And it was only when I saw something recently about TJ Miller having a falling out with Ryan Reynolds over Deadpool 2. I was like, that's where I've seen him before. He's the bartender in Deadpool.
Saying it was over Deadpool 2 is kind of putting it very lightly, let's say. There's a lot going on with TJ Miller.
I bet. And it's sad because me watching him in Silicon Valley, so they just fucking can him between seasons. It's either between seasons 3 and 4 or seasons 4 and 5. I think it might be between seasons 4 and 5. And they just never, like, they bring him up canonically in the show, but he's just never on screen again. And me looking through that was like, oh, damn, it's a shame. And so naturally I Googled, like, hey, what happened? I assume it was like a less than amicable split. And then you look into it, you're like, oh, yeah, no, like the showrunners fired him because of all the drugs and alcohol he was doing.
Oh.
You're like, okay, fair enough.
Don't forget the sexual assault.
Yeah, and then so when I looked it up in relative to Silicon Valley, that didn't come up, but the Deadpool stuff did surface there, and it's like, ooh, yeah, okay. Definitely seems like bring like all of his problems are his own fault type operation.
But he'll say it was a two-way street.
Yeah, but moving swiftly past that, I quite enjoyed it. This is one of those separate the art from the artist type things. I really enjoyed him playing the character of Erlich Bachman, but it is kind of hard because I was luckily mostly blissfully unaware of any controversy while enjoying the character. I don't know if knowing TJ Miller's like sort of history now, I'd be able to watch Silicon Valley fresh and be like, oh, like, you know, and enjoy it the same way. So that's kind of a shame. But would I recommend it? I work in tech, and so I found bits of it, I guess, relatable and bits of it funny. It's not like the let's just make an absurd reference for the sake of being quirky and zany like Big Bang Theory, thank God. But
Bazinga.
They also bazinga.
Wow.
But they do run into the issue of like the writing in parts is really good in how things come together, like almost even sort of Arrested Development and little parts of things linking together and hooking up in fun ways. But then other times, particularly in the season finales, they just Deus Ex, funnily that you talk about it this week, but they Deus Ex Machina the shit out of some season finales. Like, Jesus Christ.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided?
Almost. And they do, I swear this must be an American TV trope, because I don't think I noticed this while watching other shows. But then again, I also probably predominantly watch American shows. But anytime it's a comedy, and then the writers go, but we need the audience to feel something, they'll put like the theme motif or something softly in the background of usually the main character speaking to make some kind of like some sort of poignant speech or some kind of like rallying cry, and they always put the like motif under it, and it's fine. Maybe it was just the speed at which I watched the entire show, but by the like towards the end of the show, they do it like once an episode, and it's just like, guys, really not earning favors. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. If you're into tech, it's probably something fun to watch. Well, if you're into tech and you like your job, it's probably something fun to watch. If you're in tech and you hate your job, probably might just lead to Vietnam choppers and war flashbacks. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on that.
I also want to quickly add in that the show was created by Mike Judge, and I saw the name when like Googling the show, and I was like, Mike Judge, I know that name. It's like, I know it's going to be someone in charge of something really great. King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, shit. that, god damn it. I never looked into it, but Mike Judge was also one that was like, I swear I know that from somewhere, and just never looked it up. It was just, I assume it's just, like, particularly people that have worked on stuff, I don't bother looking into as much as, like, when I see people's faces attached to stuff. Like, I know them from something. Mike Judge, King of the Hill. That totally explains where I saw that. Yeah.
Who's he judging?
You.
Mike. Mike and Steve, I guess.
The entire state of Texas with King of the Hill.
That's funny.
The only other, I'm trying to think of a way to do this without being spoilery, but actually, I think we've been through this. Saif, you've seen The Office now, right?
Yes.
The Office US.
Yes.
Steve, have you?
I have seen The Office US.
So, the guy, I don't remember the guy's name in The Office. The one who talks, the one who like is famously quoted with the "shut up about the sun," because he keeps getting called a vampire, and he's like trying to go out with Erin, the tall, lanky guy.
I know who you're talking about because I saw it when I googled Silicon Valley.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what?
His name's Gabe.
Yes, that's right. Well, he, I guess, is just typecast to always that sort of character archetype now, because that's a similar. He's a much more well-intentioned but similar kind of oddball character in Silicon Valley, and he fucking nails it. And normally I hate the character that just does more and more surprising things throughout the show just to be zany for the sake of it. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. I think it's lazy writing if you have a character who sort of goes into monologues about just increasingly ridiculous situations. Of like, they seem like a well-adjusted person, and then when trying to give a comparison, they'll be like, so, when I was growing up with my 15 brothers and sisters that were all fighting to death in, and just sort of adding, it's kind of like exposition that you don't need sort of thing. I find it to be lazy writing, because you're relying on the absurdism to get a rise out of people. But they
that's like Family Guy type of humor. I really like that humor. Maybe it's because they're talking it instead of showing it to you, like a Family Guy cutaway type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think a Family Guy cutaway, that's what's reliant on the humor, whereas in something like Silicon Valley, so Gabe is Jared in Silicon Valley, again, similar sort of character, and he does that a little bit in particular parts across all the seasons, where he will just get stopped by another character from going into some kind of zany backstory. And it's annoying because they're generally playing the situation as fairly tone neutral, or like the other characters are fairly either deadpan or surprised that this is coming up. Whereas Family Guy, it relies on that. That's like half of their humor delivery. So kind of annoying. But there's one moment right at the end of the show where Jared just snaps, and it is one of the best sequences of the show, of Jared just going absolutely off the walls. And it must have been a riot to film that, because I saw that and I saw that when that came up and lost my mind while watching the episode. And then a few days later, after finishing the show, I went back and just watched that section again because it's so good. But interesting enough, that same guy, he is in The Other Guys, the film that came out into... Shoot, when did the other guys come out? I think that was 2011. Doing a quick Google on my other screen. 2010 even, holy shit. He shows up for the briefest of moments to just be a generically sad character. And it was just one of those interesting kind of full circle moments, because I saw The Other Guys first, where he's only in it for like all of 5 seconds. Then I saw The Office with him playing Gabe. And then I recognized him when I watched The Other Guys again, and then I see him in Silicon Valley. Anyway, this has been slightly longer than the 5 minutes chat that I wanted to spend on Silicon Valley, but that's all.
Sounds good. I think you might have convinced me to watch it.
Yeah, it's
I don't work in tech, so I'm not sure how funny it'll be for me, but I understand.
It's the sort
tech.
of thing that I really appreciated having on, because I watched it while playing Pokemon on the other screen, right? It's the sort of thing that I don't know it would have been engaging enough by itself for me to just sit down and watch episode after episode, but to just have on was really enjoyable.
Yeah, the same sort of thing with like Family Guy or The Simpsons or all that kind of stuff. Like it's good as long as it's background. It's background, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that sort of there are good moments, but if that is your primary source of consumption of it, it's probably it might be like as if it's a bit wasted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really good way of putting it. Cool. Yeah, all I have to say about Silicon Valley, and that takes us to the end of, unless I'm forgetting anyone, speak now, forever hold your peace. Cool. That means that we have made it to the end of part round for this week, which means we get to move on to part 2 for this week, which is, of course, say it with me, everyone,
the audience question.
Close, Seth, close. See me after class. And starting with the news, so, I know that we talked about this, I hope, on a recent episode. Might have been just in passing, but we can finally say, we have the numbers in front of us, that Ben Stiller single-handedly helped God of War Ragnarok sell 5 million units in the first week.
Don't forget the incredible work from John Travolta and Shaquille O'Neal. They also helped carry God of War on their broad shoulders.
They did, but only one of them was in a God of War, was in a full-on cosplay of it. Yeah,
Ben Stiller really did do a lot of legwork in that ad.
Really committed to it.
Committed to the bit, some might say.
Yeah, I guess this shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. It's been very well received on every publication that you could that even has a rating system for this game. I've played the first hour of it, and I have enjoyed what I've played. It's just it's the sort of game that I want to be really in the moment and appreciating all the detail of, and I just haven't had the time to do that properly yet. So I've just been playing other games that I don't need to pay as much attention to. But I will absolutely
like Ratchet and Clank and Pokemon.
Well, Pokemon definitely, but it's why Ratchet and Clank. It's why I haven't finished Ratchet and Clank yet, because Pokemon, I can devote most of my time to the second monitor because I only need one eye to observe the 15 frames a second on that monitor. But
that's being generous.
that was with it running in performance mode. Sorry, meant to say that with the graphics
Switch has a
degraded
performance
to
mode.
144p. The P stands for performance. But yeah, Ratchet, basically anything on a PS5. Any games that I have on a PS5, I intend to spend more time appreciating the detail of. Anyway, that's a weird roundabout way to say I will be playing Ragnarok at some point. I will review it on here at some point. But
I will also be playing it at some point when I get a PS5 and it goes down to $20.
No way, me too. I will also be playing it at some point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you get it or something? Or your brother got it or something?
He did, but I've been playing other things, so I will not be getting to
Pokemon?
Ragnarok for a while. Like Pokemon,
playing the
yes.
game of life.
And we'll get to it soon, but other games are coming out very soon that I will also be wanting to play instead of God of War.
Like what?
Really? We gonna do this now?
No, obviously not. He went quiet, so I guess we're not doing it.
No.
I set up a joke on the news docket, so we didn't have to go to that yet.
Anyway, to round out the story, based on units sold 5.1 million copies in the first week, being 5 days of release.
Round of applause. That is a very good amount of units. Do you think it's enough to make Josh not complain about not enough people playing the game for it to be on Game of the Year?
I think his complaint about it was it being very close.
I thought
and then it's like, Game of the Year.
I thought he also said it's going to be a game that is limited to a handful of people that haven't played it yet, or will be locked to a single console. But maybe that's me reading too many into some of the messages.
Hard to know what goes on in that enigma, in that steel trap of a mind. But yeah, with 5.1 million sold in 5 days, that makes it the fastest selling first-party launch game in PlayStation history. I'm assuming, I didn't look into this before recording this, but I'm assuming it was previously held by Last of Us?
Maybe
God of War 1? God of War. Like
I feel like Last of Us 2 hit some records. Maybe not the same records, but they definitely got some kind of acclaim.
Which one? The number 1, number 2, or the PS5 version? Or the remastered ones that came out on the PS4?
the HBO series based on the game, based on the movie, based on the game.
That comes out soon in January.
It does. Anyway, so I know that we just talked about how it was great that God of War Ragnarok just sold 5 million copies in 5 days, but those are rookie numbers, because Pokemon Scars and Violence sold 10 million copies in its first 3 days.
What'd you call it?
Scarlet Violet. Why?
I thought you said Scars and Violence. So now I'm going to say that and take the joke because you didn't admit to it.
It's a shit joke, Steve. Who?
I'm dabbing. This is me dabbing.
This is me dabbing. Yeah, I guess this also shouldn't come as a surprise. There is like what's that? There's like I was trying to make some sort of frame rate joke out of the number of people that bought it, but I realized that makes the frame rate seem really good.
You don't need to make a frame rate joke. Nintendo already made it with S&B.
Fair enough.
Patrick, to save your frame rate joke, I was saying that the game sold 1 million units for every frame that is rendered so far.
Pretty good. I like that one. Nintendo hired this man. Wait, maybe don't. I don't know. I've kind of lost myself in the joke a bit. I have no idea. Do we know what the previous record was for Nintendo?
Probably not a Pokemon game, let's be real.
Yeah.
I know that Arceus did a lot. I don't think it certainly wouldn't have done 10 million in 3 days.
Sword and Shield also did a lot. So did Sun and Moon. Every mainline Pokemon game basically sets another record.
And it's a shame because they set records for their technical ability as well, but not in the good way. Yeah, interesting space to see what happens with that. But yeah, sorry, anyone else want to say anything on that? Otherwise,
we will save it for next week, but it is somewhat well-deserved sales.
We'll save it for next week. Next up on the list, there's been a lot of chat on this show. I'm sure on other
a lot of funny jokes,
less fast, less travel-y, less loungy shows that you may or may not partake in listening in. About Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners, and how that has single-handedly saved CD Projekt Red.
It may have, in fact, gaslit the entire gaming community at large.
It has. And to be honest, this next headline is that it has helped push CD Projekt Red to the best third quarter in their entire history. At this point, is there anything that Edge Runners won't do? Like, if I fall down and scrape my knee, can I get Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners to kiss it better? Because I feel like it would if it could.
Only if you're CD Projekt Red.
Right. Okay.
Do we think that this is half the reason?
If I'm seeing red, is that like halfway there?
Are you bleeding red?
Do you reckon that it's the best quarter 3 because they never released anything in quarter 3 before? I have not read the article.
I think they released one of the Witcher games in the third quarter. I may be wrong about that.
I mean, for me, it's always funny when you get, like, I call this sort of a nitpicky statistic, right? Like, I'm sure there are people that genuinely care about third quarter performance compared to other quarter performance, but to me, this has the same value as CD Projekt Red does its best third quarter of 2022. You know, it's just like it's a stat for stat's sake.
Yeah.
Like this is that, like, me reading this headline now is the best part of the news segment that we've done in episode 52. Like, it's effectively meaningless.
It is,
but it's just
it
very
also
funny
kind of...
that it's just very funny that it's all tied to 2077 Edge Runners.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it is kind of a meaningless stat, but them being able to parade it because of Edge Runners is such a fascinating tale.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see who wins out. I'm assuming the winner of the best adaptation will be between Edge Runners and Arcane. It'll be interesting to see who wins that out.
I think it'll be Arcane, but Edge Runners kind of deserves it just for propping up a dead game so high.
Do you reckon? Or there is no. Well, okay, cool. We're all talking at the same time. Never mind.
Well, it's just you talking over me, but you know what? I'll let it slide this time, Steve.
You know, I didn't want to talk anyway. No, done. No,
I'm sorry.
I'm doing an interpretive dance at the moment.
Stephen, I will ask. What were you about to say?
I can't remember.
Don't make this about him.
The one time I ask, and he doesn't even remember.
That's his first strike. Second strike, he mutes himself.
Third strike, he kicked me out because I'm using a controller.
Is anyone else trying to talk on top of anyone else? Yeah? Good. Kick him out.
Oh god, he's using one of those headsets that plug into the Xbox controllers.
They're fine.
Damn it. What I was going to say was that I'm biased in that I want Arcane to win. Actually, no. I was going to say two things. One, that which I just said. Two, I realized now that if there was ever a repeat of No Man's Sky in future, that we just need to make an anime. Imagine an anime propping up No Man's Sky.
it would do incredible.
It's again, we touched on this last week with the Video Game Award announcements.
Yeah.
And that No Man's Sky being recommended for Best Community is fucking amazing to get nominated for that
actually
category.
won last year as well.
Even better. I didn't realize that it won, but
so I heard a fun fact from which I also like to listen to, that every time
it doesn't sound fast or travelly, so
So why are we advertising them?
So every time that
Seth, bleep that out.
Will do, boss.
Anyway, so every time that a new No Man's Sky drop releases, No Man's Sky becomes in the top 10 Steam sellers. Like, it's like constantly. So it had like thousands of players last week, and that's because of that new update, which is like fantastic. But it just shows that the developers are very sorry for how it released.
And most of the updates are free, right?
I think
they're all free. There are there's not even any cosmetic items for purchase as well. They have definitely made good on that.
Meanwhile, Anthem, we tried, guys. Back
Can
it
we
up.
not? Can we not? You know how upset I am right now?
Do we have? Does anyone have stocks in EA for that game as well?
How many people playing Anthem at the moment?
All I'm saying.
I don't think you can play Anthem at the moment.
Yeah, aren't the servers haven't they taken it down?
I believe so.
I thought they announced the end of life in like October or November. I'm pretty sure it's dead.
They probably, no, RIP to the realist. I mean, the flying mechanics were good in that game, but
that's what I was going to wonder. So, Anthem anime when?
It's too late for that. Anthem's dead, and you can't buy it anymore. It's too late.
But imagine like that would be the same as an artist only becoming valuable after they die. Think of how good Anthem anime could be, where people go, holy shit, I really want to play Anthem now, and they can't.
Anthem 2, Anthem Harder.
I still think Anthem A was pretty funny. No one mentioned it, so I thought I might bring it back again.
It's
so
like
anyway,
when someone repeats a joke but louder, but it's the same person.
Yeah, that's literally my entire
But they're on mute. Next up in the list.
Dumb game.
I will need to pick the brain of someone who plays more Far Cry games than I do, because I know they have a habit of releasing wacky DLC every so often. The main one that I'm thinking of, or maybe it was the first one that they did this with, was it Electric Dragon or something from Far Cry 3?
Yeah, Blood Dragon. And
Dragon. Yeah,
I think that may have been the only one. I'm not too sure.
I thought they did one more after that.
Oh, no, it says they've continued doing them. Far Cry 4 had Valley of the Yetis, and Far Cry 5 had Lost on Mars.
Yeah, well, they've now rolled around into doing this with Far Cry 6, where it's about interdimensional aliens. Nice.
Not just that, it seems like someone at Ubisoft really likes Doctor Strange. It seems like a lot of people in the gaming industry really like Doctor Strange.
What are you talking about? Is Ben the Doodle back a bit? Is he one of the characters in it?
No, it's got a lot of like environmental shifting and special effects like the Doctor Strange movies have.
Doctor Strange didn't invent that.
I know it didn't, but it was prominent in Doctor Strange, and everyone's doing it now that Doctor Strange did it.
Oh, which movie did invent it then?
I don't know, actually.
Probably Dr. Null. That was pretty funny.
It was not Doctor. Nurse Weird. It was Nurse Weird.
Okay, that's funny. I don't think he's got a doc. Actually, no, he does. I was going to say he's got like a doctorate in philosophy or something. He's not a medical practitioner.
It would be like those guys who, like, every so often you hear about a case, there's someone that managed to, like, fake their way into a medical practice, and they've been doing so successfully for, like, 5 years. Which, to me, is kind of similar to not flossing at all, and then your dentist asks you, how often do you floss? And you say, oh, I floss, like, a couple times a week, and they say, oh, you should definitely be flossing more. And then you say, but you said that my teeth were great and that I didn't need to do any more flossing. And they say, yeah, I know, but it's just good practice to do that. So it's kind of like, pick one, you know? Like, if you've successfully run a medical practice without a medical license, do you really need the medical license?
How many teeth do you have, Pat? You're getting really specific.
Who's asking? You want to come and try and take one?
No, it sounds like it's full of cavities.
The tooth fairy does like giving stuff out.
I'm really struggling to make it the only cavity that you'll be left with is something joke, but I couldn't think of something funny enough. We're gonna move on. But Saif, I think are you the only one that's played 6?
Yeah, I think so. Me and Trin played it a little earlier this year.
Yeah, you excited for Interdimensional Aliens and Doctor Strange?
Surprisingly, yeah, it looks pretty neat.
What do you mean surprisingly? Yeah, it's a weird way to
because all the other DLC stuff like the Rambo stuff and the Stranger Things ones were a little tame, and like I mentioned in those ones, a lot of their missions came down to go do a little bit of this repeated area, do a little bit of a linear level, and then wave defense and more wave defense. It was fine, but it was also a little repetitive. This trailer actually shows new unique environments and new enemy variety and things like that. So it could actually be pretty well done expansion. And it seems to be coming at a cheaper end. I think it was like $20 or maybe it was £20. Yeah, no, $20. So that seems pretty fair to me, depending on how long it goes. And it's coming out December, so I'll definitely be keeping an eye out on that. But I also kind of want to point out that in the same article we're reading this from on PC Gamer, Ubisoft also made a big list of things that are going to be included in the Stadia Edition, which is this expansion won't be included in the Stadia Edition, and the Stadia Edition goes down in January.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Oh, well.
Like, what do they have to lose?
I think the Stadia dies in January, and that's why.
Okay, wrong angle. I know what the Stadia players have to lose. I'm saying because it goes down in January, what does Ubisoft have to lose, giving this as part of the, like bringing it to the platform where people are gonna, if they like it, need to play it on another platform anyway?
Probably a lawsuit. Imagine charging someone for content that's only going to last a month. Don't look at
every
Anthem.
Mobile game ever.
Don't look at Anthem.
Hey, yeah.
The Anthem ones is outrageous.
Hey guys, we're sunsetting our mobile game. If you have premium currency, be sure to spend it. Can we get it back? No, you paid for it.
Can I get an F in the chat? For all the whales that have lost money? No. Rare developer W.
Something pretty cool though is that it says here, if you own the game on Stadia, they're working on ways to make it so that you just get the PC version through Ubisoft connection though. You have to go through their systems to get it, but still, that's one way to transfer it.
Better than nothing, and it is what it is.
Is it better than nothing?
Yes. Then alternatively, you don't have the game.
I mean, alternatively, Stadia goes down, you don't have a game anyway.
Well, all right, you win this round. All right.
all I'm saying is, anyway. Next up, couldn't think of a segue on the list. There is something that looks like it may or may not get rollback netcode. Seth, can you confirm the rumors?
That's the bad one, isn't it?
No, that's the good one. Samurai Showdown rollback netcode test will be happening in January 2023. Back to you, Patrick.
I was not ready for the segue. I was about to go and have a smoke break. I was expecting you to take like 10 minutes talking about how great rollback netcode. Okay, no, it's fine. Let me just put the cigarette
Who
out.
smokes these days? All the cool kids are vaping.
What's the real surprising, like, not surprising one? There was one where they were talking about like outlawing or regulating vaping in it was either Australia or the UK, and they talked about regulating elf bars. And to even just have a product called Elf Bar makes me cringe. I'm taking it from the silence that you guys haven't seen this, so maybe it was a UK thing, but
it may have been a UK thing.
Yeah, because vaping nicotine-based products is illegal in the great country of Australia. For better or worse, that's not for me to say. I do neither. I am not cool enough to smoke, and I don't have enough friends to vape.
So you just hit nicotine patches?
No, I play video games.
Both of those are too expensive to do.
Potato.
Wait, video games?
No, vaping and smoking. They're both too expensive to commit as hobbies.
Yeah, no, it's much cheaper to drop $120 on PS5 games, am I right, Seth?
Exactly. I haven't done that yet. I'll get back to you about it when I do.
Need for Speed Unbound is the only one that I'm contemplating doing that for.
I don't think it's even going to be that much. Wasn't it at like a discounted price?
If it was only discounted by like $10 or so, but
something like that.
At least on the NZ PlayStation Store, it was 100.
It's 100 on Steam.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm thinking PS5. It was either 110 or 120, and then Palace Edition's an extra 20 on top.
You wouldn't download a car.
Hey, I'd consider it.
As an animator, I have actually.
You're going to jail.
Weird flex. Shit, man. There's no nice way to segue the headlines this week. Fuck. God, half the enjoyments I get out of.
Speaking of 15, if you half that, you get 7, and if you round down, you get 7. Man, you really should be in charge of this, Pat.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So to answer your question, Patrick, Need for Speed Unbound in Australia is $115 on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe I will get it on Steam and save that $15.
Yeah, hey, your prerogative. It's definitely tempting, but as I mentioned last week, your
graphics card.
My old girl's starting to hit the minimum spec line, so might just have to fork out the extra 15 for PlayStation. Anyway, King of Fighters. The segue is just the headline. We're dealing with it. King of Fighters 15 Season 2 begins in January 2023.
Neat.
Anyone play King of Fighters?
I have it. I played the beta test, but I haven't played the actual game yet.
Oh, so you need to catch up on the Season 1 lore.
Yeah, I do. I think I actually owned a Season 1 DLC as well. Like, I think I bought, like, the complete edition. But no.
Do you reckon when you open Season 2, they ask if you want a story recap of Season 1?
Yes. I don't think the fighting game lore gets that deep, honestly. I think they stop at, like, the first thing and they're like, here's more characters. We will attach no story to them.
Got a punch.
Yeah, they came here, they punch good.
Everyone is here. Everyone punch good. Right, so you're excited for Season 2 then?
Yeah, Season 2's adding in crossplay, so that's going to be extremely fun and healthy for the game's life.
You want to play with the cross? It's dangerous.
Have you seen Mecha Jesus?
No.
Yeah, that's the New Game Plus character, and I'm scared of him.
Good, you should be.
He turns water into wine, and he turns my insides to my outsides.
But yeah, no. There's basically no new information for this. We already know about a couple of characters coming. We know about the crossplays coming with it as well. It's just now there's a date. It's coming January. Neat.
January 2023. Neat indeed. Speaking of things coming soon, Crisis Core.
Fantastic game. Cannot wait for this. This is just a reminder that the game's coming out in 2 weeks. They just dropped a launch trailer. The voice acting is hit or miss. They're still running with the remakes changed cast. But yeah, no.
Understandable.
Excited for the game. It looks fantastic. My favorite part was when Zack and Chocobo jump up and do a dive kick on an enemy.
I might be getting this game. If it comes to Game Pass, let's be real. It'll come to Game Pass when all of the Final Fantasy VII bullshit comes out.
And it'll be called the Finalist Fantasy.
I will appreciate hearing your opinion on the Final Fantasy VII remake games in 10 years.
I'll be getting them for free from Game Pass.
Well,
technically, you're paying for Game Pass, so you're not getting them for free. You're getting them with your subscription payment.
Yeah, technically, you're not getting anything for free because you got to pay to make yourself alive. So
I don't have to pay to make myself alive. I just breathe.
What if you get hungry?
I can scavenge for food.
Yeah, fucking rat.
Seth, we talked about this. You can, doesn't mean you should.
Look, all I'm saying is there's an apple tree over there. If the apple falls down...
Seth, we left food out for you, all right? The last thing we need is for the neighbors to ring the police again.
Now, you say left food out, but it's just a box of crackers.
Those were
animal
premium
crackers at that.
And there was a deal. If you finish them all, we give you a Krispy Kreme for dessert. But no, you ended up like wasting some of them and just breaking them up and throwing them around the room. Your mother and I were very disappointed.
I couldn't bring myself to eat the kangaroo ones. The kiwis, sure, but the kangaroos, those are sacred. Wow,
just because it's a flightless bird, huh? You think you only want to put into your mouth what you know you can kill in a fight?
Yes.
Sick fuck.
That's how I feel safe.
It's
all part of the food chain.
To be honest, one, the lack of Steve piling in on this, and two, I actually don't know where the joke goes from here. So
yeah, I don't know what to say, so I'm just sort of ignoring it. I got scared.
Scared by the kangaroo, or the idea of Seth crouched over a kiwi-shaped animal cracker eating it while Jim's staring into the camera.
You know what? It's a bit of both.
Sustenance.
Right. Well, Yeah, fuck, again. There's no... To be fair, I don't think there's any good segue out of whatever the fuck that conversation just was. But we get to roll into the idea of adults-only loot boxes. So, I don't know what sick shit you guys are up to, but adults-only loot boxes? Really?
Now you're phrasing that a certain way that I don't like. The actual story is that they want to make it so that only adults can buy loot boxes because it's gambling.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I was saying, Seth. When like Australia wants to make it so that Australia wants to introduce adults only loot boxes. I don't know which part of that is ambiguous. Let me spell it out for you. They want to make it so that you can put dildos on Rocket League cars. Is that better? Is that closer to?
I thought you could.
Is that more accurate?
Well, you are a dildo if you're still playing Rocket League. Am I right, fellas?
I want people to know that I'm not quiet. I'm just stunned into silence by Patrick.
Hey, it's all fun and games until someone unlocks the BDSM skin for May in Overwatch 2, alright?
Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to go do that now.
Isn't it the
It sounds
game?
like it's right up my alley. Maybe this law is based.
All I'm saying is adults only loot boxes, kinda, they can go kinda crazy.
All this right after Steven puts us on blast for saying lewd shit to him as an 8-year-old.
This isn't funny.
Sorry, Steve. You're not an adult, so these adults only loot boxes are not for you.
You know what? It's probably for the best.
It's like the opposite
Actually, you know
of
what? That's
tricks
probably
because silly rabbit tricks are for kids. Loot
Yeah,
boxes
that's
are for
probably like
adults.
when you wake up and you gotta pay. Like when you wake up and you're an adult and you gotta pay bills. It's like the same thing. You wake up and you gotta buy loot boxes.
I mean, let's be real. When you wake up and open the fridge, and every day could be a loot box.
Especially depending on how long it's been since you opened the fridge.
No, it's especially depending on if like whose fridge it is.
So an actual question, how do you think this would affect games that have loot boxes? Because I feel like they're all gone at this point.
There's
I feel
a
like
lot
this
of
is too
adults only content you'd have to put in
late.
loot boxes for that.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah, well, it's probably one of those things is like people really hate them. The EU did something last year, the year before. They've sort of banned them.
And it feels like
sort of,
2 years ago, everyone started moving away from loot boxes to go into battle passes instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is much better than loot boxes, but at the same time, it's like saying instead of eating shit, I'm drinking piss. Like,
I mean, yes.
Sorry,
okay, so I know what you're gonna say, Seth. I'm gonna say like a battle pass does reward progress.
But you're also paying to earn content.
Yes, it does.
And that's the bad part of it. It's like, why can't I just pay to have this content? Why do I have to pay and then earn it?
Okay, but that's the same thing with like back in the old days, you would have to have unlocked a character, either finishing story mode or playing versus mode upside down with your mum's credit card.
But all of those are feasible. A lot of battle passes are like, you will do this as your full-time job while
that's true.
also having a full-time job. Like you actually have to put in the 9 hours a day that you would do for a proper job to progress. And even then you have like 2 hours to spare.
Yeah, you've got like the free battle pass, which you reasonably cannot obtain in like a normal season. And you've got like the paid battle pass, which gives you like extra stuff plus like additional progress through the normal battle pass. And it's better than loot boxes because it's not randomized. You know what you're going to get. And it's probably more of a mental shift for the population to be like, you know what? I don't have to get everything. Like as a skin, I'm never going to use it, especially in like first person shooters.
But then there's also the point of I paid for it. I want to get it.
I guess so. But yeah, maybe that's because I don't fall into the cosmetic mindset. I'm built different.
Not to mention, well, I mean, we know you are because you said instead of eating shit, you're drinking piss. But not to mention when they put in arbitrary limits of, oh no, we don't want someone progressing through the battle pass too fast. Only the first 3 wins contribute towards battle pass, and the rest you're just playing for fun.
Didn't Halo Infinite get done for that like a couple of weeks after it came out?
Yeah, no, when it first launched, like your first game would get you like 200 points. And then like your second game will get you 100, then you will get like no more points, like just for playing games, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
but then they changed
the weekly resourcing shit out of, I think it was Pokemon Unite that did that. I think
that was a very monetization heavy game.
Oh yeah,
but at the same time, at what point do you have to sort of look in the mirror and be like,
I am the money?
Well, and be like, if you're playing the game for fun, that's one thing. If you're playing a game to complete a battle pass, is that still fun for you? Like if you see it as a chore to go in and be like, oh, I have to finish this. Do you really have to finish?
I think
It's
at that
really
point, it's like
interesting.
you for like a lot of people, it's like I'm now financially invested in seeing this through, because if I don't, then I've wasted a bunch of money.
Well, it's even worse. It's like buying something that's broke, not broke, mate. Bad. It's buying a food and it comes out and it's not good. Do you continue to eat the food or do you throw it out? Like let's say a meal's $20 and a battle pass is $20. Like I don't know. That's up for discussion, dear listeners.
Well,
Now, I don't
joke's
know
on
about you,
because,
but because I spent $20 on that food, I will finish that food even if I hate it, because that's $20 down the drain if I don't.
True, but also, are we forgetting the existence of much like the free battle pass, the free food?
Yeah, but then you got to eat too much, and it's like bland. It's like government mandated sandwiches.
Yeah, but as soon as you drop $20, it comes with seasoning for the free food.
Yeah, then you do have to eat it. Yeah, maybe a food analogy isn't the best.
No, food analogies always work.
No, it's just funny that you talk about the chore mentality, because I had that today. I had that before recording actually, but not even in a battle pass context. So I'm playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart at the moment, right? Where like many games, there's like a weapon upgrade thing of use a weapon enough times, get it to level 5, it's now considered fully upgraded. I ran out of ammo on all the weapons that weren't level 5, and I, no joke, stared at my weapons screen for like 5 seconds surrounded by enemies going, I can't use any weapons. I have like, I have like, guess what, there's like 8 on a quick select screen, so I'd have 15 odd weapons, and there are 4 that I'm currently leveling up. Is that right? Yeah, 4 that I'm currently leveling up. So I have 11 other weapons to choose from. And I just look at my weapon screen and go, I guess I'm using the wrench because all of these others are fully upgraded.
Yeah, I've definitely done the same thing. Like
it's a tragic mindset.
Yeah. But that's like, yeah, it is a tragic.
It's not specific to Battle Pass, but it's just funny because it's kind of like it's the same kind of thought pattern to me. I think of if I have like a weekly on a battle pass, it's like, oh, better get the weekly done, like at the expense of all else. Can't have fun playing this other game mode I know I like more because I need to get the weekly out of the way.
Gotta play Wonder Woman in this match of multiverses until I block 2 attacks with the shield and no one ever throws projectiles.
To do something crazy and go back to the actual headline for a sec.
Insane. How could you?
One more thing I'll say before we wrap this up is that don't forget your most valuable resource is your time. The second you start using more time than you would want to spend on something, right, regardless of whether you're financially invested or not,
so
always think about your time commitment.
Interesting that we have a difference of opinion here, Steve. I would argue your most precious resource is clout, and tell me how you can't, and tell me the fastest way to get clout isn't by randomly unboxing the highest rarity item you can get in the loot box.
Not just that, but using other people's money to do it.
Now that's clout.
Okay, so
you got to start up a stream, add stream goals onto it, saying for every $10 donated, I will unbox 1 loot box. And what's that? Loot boxes only cost $7. Guess that's a $3 profit.
I feel like you're telling us this because a streamer did that, and I automatically hate them.
I don't know if it was for profit, but I do know a streamer did a 4-hour long stream because people kept donating to him to open up Heroes of the Storm boxes.
I mean, that's kind of like the Cards Against Humanity guys who started a stream and said, keep donating and we'll keep digging a hole in the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, and then people just keep donating, so they had to keep digging.
They did. I think any regulation in that space is good because loot boxes are clearly quite targeted at kids, but I think you're right in that a lot of companies, particularly after the EU ruling, went, shit, it's only a matter of time before they're on to us.
Yeah, we got to pivot into the next scam.
Pivoting, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then Fortnite came along and introduced a new scam.
Yeah, they fucking do. Fortnite's really on top of that. But it's not even kids do fall for it, and because they don't have any sense of money, they spend a lot more. But it does sort of trigger that gambling response in your brain the same way that our good friends at the RSL, the Pokies, trigger it. The next one will be a good one, I swear, fellas.
Every time you lose,
just
you're just increasing your
hit.
chances of winning. Yeah.
Yeah. One more hit and I'm closer to the jackpot.
Hey, if you double your money, if you put all of your money on shit, what is it? Blackjack or roulette? There's one thing where you can double your money so long as you have infinite money and infinite time, because you just have to keep putting higher and higher amounts on it until you win one.
Yeah, that's it. You might be $1 ahead, you might be $1 million ahead.
It is. Anyway, speaking of things that are very hard to do, Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard is looking to be very hard to do. Finally got one. Oh, yes, nailed it.
Proud of you.
Thank you. After a report from the US government that they might be looking to challenge that purchase, which I'm shocked.
And it's not even a hard
megacorp
confirmation.
Buying another megacorp? Crazy.
It's not even a hard confirmation they will. It's just a, you know what? It's likely we will.
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
not to preempt the another story coming up in the docket with Dr. Allen walking around, but FTC walking around going, I don't know if I'd buy that company if I were you.
Yeah, and this is happening right after the European Commission is like, we don't know about this one.
We all sort of knew it was always going to get this pushback. It is sort of interesting hearing all the arguments that went into the UK courts, was it? And it's literally Microsoft saying, we're actually really shit. Sony has much better exclusive.
Yeah.
To which Sony's reply is, Call of Duty's only all we got.
It's not, it's all we got. It's this Call of Duty is the game, and there's a lot of financial. Yeah, it's a game you must have. The moment that becomes exclusive, that's just a huge loss of market share.
Yeah, which is...
I'm pretty sure Sony's full quote was, if we lose Call of Duty, we'll have to start selling PS5 games at $110 a pop.
Don't forget, they were the first people to do that.
In order to recoup the money lost.
I think
the price of the PS5.
I think Jim Ryan isn't saying that as like an excuse. I think he's saying that as a threat.
Yeah. Jim Ryan just puts his hands up to the media and says, guys, hear me out. If we take Call of Duty away, we're going to have to charge at least $1,500 for PSVR 2.
That'll really get gears moving.
And that's when a journalist puts their hand up and goes, what do those two things have anything to do with each other? And that's when he does the Sailor Moon cape and just says, my work here is done, and then runs off the stage.
Do you remember when Robot Chicken did a Nintendo Direct parody thing? Like, it was an official one.
What?
One of the Nintendo E3s or Nintendo Directs, they had Robot Chicken do skits for them, and one of them was Reggie's up on stage and someone in the audience goes, what about Mother Free? And Reggie just looks at them and gives them like laser eyes until they're burned to death.
Man, Nintendo did that?
Yeah, Nintendo did that, but times were crazy in the Wii U era.
Yeah, they were fucking desperate. They sell the bloody thing.
I hope that's the first page of Reggie's book.
It's not. I've read it.
Why I laser-eyed that kid after asking about Mother 3. And other good business decision making from the previous head of Nintendo America.
I think he's like the number one reason Mother 3 never made it over.
He's surely not. I'm surely. Well, he wasn't the CEO in Nintendo until like what, early 2000s?
Yeah, and Mother 3 is an early 2000s game.
Fuck off! I refuse to believe that.
Mother 3 is a GBA game.
Get fucked. 2006. Jesus.
Yeah.
When did Mother 2 come out?
Mother 2 was way older. That's a 90s game.
Yeah, I thought that's really old. 95. It's the same age as me, for real. No, it came out in North America in 95. 11 years later, Mother 3. Huh. Lucas came out, but interesting.
Yeah, Lucas was put in Smash almost right away.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, still isn't the worst one. I think Roy was put into Smash Melee before his game even came out in Japan.
That's sick. I love that. Go Roy. I'm a Roy main now.
Really? Sorry to hear that.
Roy's our boy.
My boy Roy. Jumping back for a sec. So I have this really, really nice nuanced take on whether Microsoft should buy Activision Blizzard. I don't think they should. Not because of all the version exclusivity and everything else, all that. I just want to be the one to cut the cord on Bobby Kotick's golden parachute.
Oh yeah, no, like Activision is super desperate to be bought out by Microsoft. They have no reason to be desperate to be bought out, I feel. But they're like, no, please let Microsoft buy us out because Bobby Kotick really wants his golden parachute.
Yeah, they probably And don't forget this. It's Activision Blizzard King. It's the King thing that Microsoft wants. That's the real moneymaker. You'll finally be able to get
Candy Crush and
Candy
Bang.
Crush on.
It's just that Call of Duty
everything.
is such a big market share thing that's where all the discussion is.
Which is interesting because in the last couple of years, I don't think I know anybody that still plays Call of Duty or actually even thinks it's a good game.
I know people that buy them and think they're not good games, but they're still
Buy them
they're still consistently some of the best-selling games on the market.
Yeah.
Wait. Guys. People buy them every year, even knowing they're not good games. Guys, it's literally Pokemon.
No, Pokemon's a good game. It's just technically not.
It's not the best game it can be.
We will talk about that at some point. Hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week. Yeah, I'm good to move on from this one. Any final thoughts from anyone?
Both you
go, Seth.
All parties involved in this, Sony, Microsoft, and Activision, have been incredibly funny and pathetic the entire time. I hope this goes on for another year just so I can keep laughing at how desperate all three companies are.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Sony is screaming, for better or worse, I don't know, obviously they have to scream, but this is the way they're screaming is very weird.
I also think Microsoft's going, no, please, we've got such a small penis, let us buy them, is also pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. It just reminds me of wonder if I can pull it up quickly. Yeah. It's just what I want the ultimate end goal of this to be is that Elon Musk buys some combination of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard and just runs it into the ground like he's doing with Twitter.
He just buys Call of Duty. He doesn't buy anything else. He just buys Call of Duty.
Just reminds me of a tweet. It's probably not what we'd normally cover in the news docket, but just because it came up recently, of Elon Musk basically confirming that if Apple pulls Twitter from its app store, that he is apparently willing to make his own smartphone.
That'd be very funny.
I would pay good money to see that crash and burn.
No.
You pay money to see that crash and burn. That's funny. I wouldn't pay anything.
The thing is, you can pay money to buy one of the phones and then it would crash and burn. But my favorite take of that was all the people saying Elon Musk's going to put Apple out of business, and some absolute massive wrinkled cranium man asks if whether Elon Musk putting Apple out of business is because he bought Apple.
Okay, that's good.
But do you think Elon Musk's phones would also attack children?
Yeah.
There's a quiz you can do of who said it, Elon Musk or Mr. Burns. The quiz is not as clear cut as you might think.
Yeah, no, every time those quizzes pop up, they're not as easy as you think they'd be.
I got 53% when I did it. Anyway, enjoy the laughing. Got the funnies, because the next story is no ha-has allowed. Not funny. Nintendo, a proud history of hating its fans, hated its fans today, or yesterday.
Remember that ha-ha funny joke about Mother Free? What if it wasn't ha-ha funny, and what if it was about Smash?
And what if it was right now? But what if Reggie had nothing to do with it? Probably.
I'd believe it this time.
It's going to be really hard to sum up what's happening here. Basically, actually, do you have a better grasp on this, Saif?
Kind of, but not really.
I can bumble my way through bullet points. I'll try bumbling my way through bullet points.
Yeah, no, because I'd also be doing the exact same thing.
Cool. Probably should have prepared this before. Oh well. Basically, there are two kind of world championship events for Smash.
The first one that got hit was the Smash World Tour.
Well, I was going to give a little bit more context in that there's what, the Smash World Tour, and then what was the Pandas one?
I think it's just Panda Worlds or Panda Global.
Worlds.
No, Panda Global is the company, but I think it's Panda Global Cup.
Oh, Panda Express?
Oh, choice. We don't have enough of those in Australia, to be honest.
Let's call it the Panda Cup. I don't know. So Smash Worlds was to be run by VG Bootcamp. Chances are, if you're
no, Smash World is its own thing. VG Bootcamp is another one.
Shit. Okay. You see, this is why it's confusing. Chances are, if you're in the Smash community, you probably already have a better handle on this, and you're screaming at what you're listening to this on. But basically, there were a couple of Smash World Cups for in real broad strokes, a couple World Cups on where one was hosted by so until now, Nintendo hasn't licensed or denied the license of running Smash tournaments. So you can run a Smash tournament, and the main stipulation was that as long as you're not modding the game, Nintendo was, broadly speaking, not going to get in your way if you tried to run it. And so that's how it's always been for the past 20-something years. And then, so that leads us to this year, where there was going to be two kind of World Cup style events, I think both happening in December, actually, could be wrong on that, where one of them, well, both of them had this kind of invitational aspect of a bunch of events throughout the year would give you points, and then the points would give you a better chance of competing in these World Tour events. And so one of them was the Pandas Cup, which was run by the Panda Esports org, headed by a guy called Dr. Allen.
So it's Panda Circuit, run by Panda Global.
I feel like I've seen Panda Global in something related to Rick and Morty. I don't quite know what, but Panda Global...
Big Panda wants you to think.
Maybe. Panda Global feels like something I've seen before, but I don't know where. Maybe in relation to this, I don't know. But, so Dr. Allen, the head of Panda Esports, went around and basically got Nintendo to license his event. And so everyone was like, okay, fine, you've your event has been licensed, but Nintendo until this point hasn't really cared about whether events have been licensed or not.
Yeah, and it's not an exclusive license either. It's just a license they handed out so Panda could say, hey, we're official.
Yep. And so part of that, I don't want to butcher too many of the details, but Dr. Allen really wanted there to be a broadcasting rights attached to that license as well, where he tried to strong-arm Beyond the Summit, who would have covered it, into giving Panda exclusive broadcasting rights for it as well. And Beyond the Summit basically told him to go get fucked, which, fair. And so...
As a man that cannot take the answer no.
Yeah, and so basically led to him going and strong-arming whichever contact he has at Nintendo to start trying to shut down all of the unlicensed Smash events. I'm skipping over a bunch of details. Ludwig actually covers this really well on his Mogul Mail channel that goes into better detail. He's also more embedded in the Smash community than I am. I wouldn't consider myself part of the community. But fast forward to the last sort of 24 hours, and Nintendo has, by virtue of events not being licensed, shut down unlicensed events for the future, meaning that the only event that can go ahead is the Panda Global thing.
Yeah, it's not even like they've cancelled all of them, but the fear of God is being set into so many of them. So they've hit the Smash World Tour, they sent basically a decent assist. It wasn't like a hard one, but they were like, look, you have to shut this down, sort of thing, trying to be polite in like their contact with them was reaching out to them and saying, look, we're gonna need you to shut this down. And that happened right before Thanksgiving, like the day before Thanksgiving. And
this is for a tournament that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Smash World Tour is going to go under, basically, because they're going to owe a lot of people money. They've got a lot of cancellation fees to cover. They got to refund a lot of people that were going to come out to them. So this is hurting them pretty badly and basically ruined their entire holiday weekend.
I think it goes beyond that. It's ruined possibly the future of their existence. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just, at this point, I'm just kind of picking up the rest of the story for Patrick.
Fair.
Because that fear of God is being set into the entire community now, BG Bootcamp has also come out and said, hey, look, we haven't been told anything by Nintendo, but because of what's been going on, we're kind of, we're scared for ourselves, and so we're also going to be shutting down any future events for the foreseeable future, just because we want to keep ourselves and our fans safe, like financially. and any major events in 2023, we're uncertain about if we're going to be doing any of those. They haven't officially been sent any cease and desist by Nintendo. They're just kind of getting it ahead of time before something does happen to them. And this is all because the CEO of Panda Global is kind of strong-arming the competitive community to go under Panda Global.
But it's so strange. Like, what kind of charismatic guy must he be to be like, you know what, Nintendo, you've been all right, but now you're ours. Like,
this wild speculation from me is probably that Nintendo didn't think there was any exclusive deals, but maybe there's like certain lawyer wording in the contract that Panda's kind of strong-arming them into doing it.
They snuck it in, the dog.
Maybe. That's kind of like my head theory at the moment. And maybe Nintendo can't get out of the contracts.
Like, there haven't been too many official statements issued by party, because this is all sort of the last 24 hours type stuff. But
yeah, it's only statements from the people that are closing down their shops at the moment.
Yeah, the part that we haven't hit on this is that it's been reported that throughout this year, Dr. Allen / head of Pandas has been going to various events saying, hey, you probably want to partner with us because we're licensed. I wouldn't partner with the other guys because they're not going to be around next year.
Yeah, that's also extremely scummy. Like, he's been taking away other people's opportunities by going, basically strong-arming the entire community and events scene, going, yeah, no, other people won't exist, but we will. We have a bright Smash future, but everyone else is going to go down next year because Nintendo will shut them down.
Apparently, earlier in the year when these tournaments were being set up, he didn't want events. So the whole point system that I talked about just before, the events that you could get points at for Smash World Tour, the organizers of that said, oh yeah, no, like we don't care if the event that you host gives points for Smash World Tour or Panda Global. Like, just, you know, it's a Smash tournament, fine, just have at it. We'll figure out the points. And apparently, he really early on was like, no. If you want it to be qualifying for Panda Global at the end of the year, you cannot have any links to Smash World Tour. And so then a bunch of the events just went, okay, I guess we're not doing Panda World Tour. And then he went back and said, okay, you know what? No, if it's linked to other tournaments, fine. Just absolute.
So they actually handed his ass to him on a silver platter for that specific thing.
That is my understanding of it. This is all, yeah. I don't know if that's confirmed, but that is what I have heard via secondhand information.
Yeah, no, but this is an extremely shitty situation, and this one guy is trying to monopolize the entire Smash tournament scene, which is kind of shitty. Like, imagine Evo saying, hey, we got the license to stream Guilty Gear, and no one else is allowed to stream Guilty Gear for the rest of the year now.
By doing the world a favor. There, I said it.
It's so much of this is just intention reading on my part, but if you're part of a community, you want to celebrate that in every way that you can, right? Like, the best outcome. I'm not in the Smash community, but if there's a tournament on, hell yeah, I want to watch Smash because it's interesting. I'm fucking the shittiest player you've ever seen at it, but it's interesting for me to watch it. And so if there's a tournament on, like, I don't know, Dota is an example where, I watch TI and I watch the majors and other bits and pieces when I can. But the best case scenario for me is that there's a tournament on all the time for Dota because it's just more professional Dota and it's great. The worst case is that it gets monopolized by one person and it shuts down, or it's at the detriment of what would otherwise be all these other events that are on. Now, Dota's in a weird spot because Dota has crazy large prize pools and backing from Valve and everything else. Smash doesn't, because Nintendo really likes fucking over Smash fans. So most people that are involved with running these sorts of tournaments either just break even or probably lose money in a lot of cases. So the intentions of shutting down unlicensed events so that you can run the one licensed one is not only you not celebrating the whole, like, function of being in a really fun sort of video game community, but also actively fucking over other people in that community. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, And yeah, I'm not in the community either, but from what I've been seeing on Twitter, it seems like there's going to be a pretty heavy boycott. But will those actually go ahead type of thing? I'm very interested to see if the community actually rebels against it.
So the boycott's really interesting because I'll jump back to you in a sec, Seth, just because there's a really interesting parallel that happened a couple months ago, I think, where a bunch of rich oil, I want to call them oil barons, sheiks.
Oh, it's the golf example, all right.
Tycoons.
Yeah. The golf example, exactly. Where they went, we have a shit ton of money, let's set up our own professional golfing league. And PGA said, fuck no, if you go and play for them, you're out of the PGA tour. And so at the time, quite a few people were like, well, no one's going to go to this other new one. But it doesn't, like, it's not about money. No amounts of money would make me abandon all my, and then they just start adding more and more zeros to the prize pool. And then eventually people crack, right? Because
eventually there's enough zeros.
Eventually there are enough zeros. And so all I'm saying is it'll be really interesting because, you know, Smash isn't a super well paid community.
It's all grassroots
passion. It's a grassroots passion project. So there's every possibility that if Pandas is the only tournament going, they could just find a number that gets people to come along regardless of people wanting to boycott it or not.
Yeah,
what were you going to say before?
Yeah, so it's kind of along those lines. It's more of, if Nintendo's not supporting the Smash community and, shutting down tournaments now because they're not being licensed and they won't license other people. Do you guys know what other game does support their community and keeps adding more money into the prize pools, even though it's financially stupid to do so because they're not selling too well? Nick All-Star.
No way.
Get fucked.
They actually they've actually been invested in their tournament scene, so maybe Smash players should go on over to that game.
Holy shit, the Smash killer is real.
The developers actually care about their players there.
Very interesting.
So funny.
That game's not dead at all.
Multiverses also supports their tournaments when they happen. I haven't heard of any Multiverses tournaments happening since EVO, though, which was a good few months ago at this point.
Yeah. I don't really have too much more to add. I'm sure over the next 48, 72 hours, there will be a whole bunch more that will come out about this. But for now, at least, my assumed position is fuck Pandas, fuck Dr. Allen. But that is said without hearing his side of the story. It could be that this is a very one-sided, completely misinterpreted situation. But
yeah, and
that's
we
where
don't
I'm
know how much.
now.
Imagine 2 years from now, he comes out with a statement with receipts showing that everyone else was actually really shitty towards him, all Mick Gordon style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Nintendo. We'll never actually know, but how Nintendo's managing it internally.
I know we'll never know how Nintendo's handling internally.
Yeah.
The thing is, because of Nintendo's track record, I think that is the least interesting part of the story. Because remember, in the best case possible, Nintendo doesn't give a shit about people running tournaments. If everything goes back to the way it was, Nintendo doesn't give a shit about people running tournaments. So I to some extent don't really care about how Nintendo feels about this, because it seems like all of the decisions being made about this are not Nintendo decisions. Yeah,
the best part of this story from Nintendo's side is that the people in contact with all the tournament organizers were very supportive and we want to give you these licenses. We just got to go to our higher ups and see what happens with that. And then the higher ups just do not get back to anyone for months on end until it's too late, and this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a very stark contrast to the Pokemon VGC community. But
man, does Nintendo even support that, or is that all the Pokemon company?
That's all the Pokemon company.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Does Nintendo support Splatoon, or is that also the Pokemon company?
I think they actually do support Splatoon.
That's a shame.
Officially licensed Splatoon tournaments. Saying that out loud just makes me makes me think of running a daycare.
I played Splatoon 2 for 30 minutes. I handed some 12-year-olds their asses, and then I got paired against some Japanese players that absolutely smokes me. That is the Splatoon experience.
You got bully hunted hard, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't have anything more to say on this. I'm good to move on. Anyone else?
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm also good to move on.
Let's see how it unfolds.
Cool. Ending with, depending on your perspective, much happier news. We got a new Super Mario Bros. Trailer. this one I think was really funny because it was streamed Nintendo Direct style as the previous trailer was, where they start the broadcast, wait 15, 20 minutes.
I think it was like closer to 40.
Waited. Okay, well that's way worse. Let's split the difference and assume 30 minutes. Waited 30 minutes. Put a timer on screen counting down another 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Miyamoto-san jumps on, introduces Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach and Seth Rogen as DK, and then drops the trailer. Where
they also have a segment where Seth Rogen's talking for a little bit as like his experience with being Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And same with Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the Anya Taylor-Joy part. I only saw the Seth Rogen part.
Yeah, but it was funny to me that in the trailer they then showed DK makes no sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts.
Actually just hit him with the Pokemon Scarlet Violet voice acting gap.
It would have actually made more sense to have Charlie Day on this segment because Luigi gets a lot of lines in this.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That is Jack Black. He wasn't on it either, but he was on the last one, I guess, wasn't he?
I think Jack Black went and did something else on the side though, because I saw him trending earlier with a guitar.
Nice.
Tenacious D's back. But yeah,
they never leave.
It's Tenacious E now.
Apart from that one part in the trailer where Mario says, "Let's go," I really liked it.
Yeah, no, this is a really good trailer.
Yeah, they're definitely showing a bit too much at this stage. Like the last probably minute of that trailer, I'm like, oh, this definitely comes from like important parts of the story. Like,
I'm expecting there to be one more trailer, probably with Keegan-Michael Key and Charlie Day.
I expect that.
In a same kind of announcement sort of fashion is what I mean. Like, because comes out,
April.
April
the 5th, the day before my birthdays.
The number of times you've dropped hints as to what your birthday is.
No, he said this the last time we talked about the Mario movie. I specifically remember him saying it was coming out a day before, and I'm making the threat that I'll get him a ticket for his birthday present.
Good, that's based. I'm not paying fucking full price for a movie ticket. Cheap Tuesday isn't cheap anymore. You go to a movie theater, they hold you up at knife point and say, hey, it's $20 for a fucking one Malteser. And I'm like, I don't want to buy that. And they're like, well, sorry, go home then.
When I went to watch when I went to watch the menu, now I didn't have any intention on buying popcorn or drink because I went after dinner where I'd already eaten. But I'm pretty sure if I wanted to buy a popcorn drink combo, it would have cost me something in the ballpark of $15 to $20.
You know, I think last time I went to the cinemas, buying 2 tickets, popcorn and drinks came up to $50 to $60.
Fucking hell. Fucking bandits tax. Like, and they went, oh no, the piracy's hurting our industry. I don't care. Lower your prices.
You wouldn't download a couple's combo from Event Cinemas, all right?
I would.
Go to the IGA and shoplift one. No,
the chairs at home are more comfortable.
Like what? Avatar 2's coming out soon, and they're going to make like $2 quadrillion, and they're going to look at ticket sales like they sold 10 tickets, and then make like $1 billion from that. This is what. Look, I'm sorry I'm getting hated, but God,
like 9 of those tickets was just the midnight premiere.
None of those tickets are fucking James Cameron.
But yeah, to go back to the trailer, I suspect I probably will end up watching this in theaters.
Oh yeah, no, I will as well.
Really? In theaters? Man.
Well, I mean, I get free movie tickets.
Oh.
Perks,
you really think you know someone?
Baby.
Yeah. I don't think I've given you my most recent address because I never got one in the mail.
You want to give me the address now?
Yeah, but I'll need the Facebook Messenger password first. I'll send it to you in a secure link like that.
Yeah, got it.
I still think that Mario and Luigi look off in this movie, by the way. Like, they look close enough to being their game versions, but their faces are just slightly off that it's off-putting.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I was going to say, all of the Linda Belcher memes of Chris Pratt / Mario aside, every time I hear Jack Black just voice Bowser in this film, I like, holy shit.
So we've all seen the renders, by the way, like the movie poster renders of each individual character, right?
Yes. And I've seen them with inappropriate drawings over the top of them as well.
I haven't seen those, but my thing is that looking at the Princess Peach one, I feel like she's going to call me.
Yeah, so anyway, my favorite part about the trailer was the cart scene. And then, of course, he's in a cart and he goes onto a track. And what track is that, my friends? Rainbow Road.
Chocolate. Oh.
I've seen the Rainbow Road scene in the French dub, and he actually does the Wahoo like game Mario sounds like. So
yeah, that's the thing. Whoever they have doing the French Mario voice is basically.
I'm not watching French Mario.
God damn, I've forgotten the guy's name.
Chris Martinet. Or Charles Martinet.
Charles, Charles Martinet. French Mario sounds really close to Charles Martinet.
Yeah, it's actually fantastic.
There are versions of at least the first. I'm assuming the same guys are going to do the second trailer as well. But the first trailer where the only thing swapped is French Mario.
Yeah, that's going to happen as soon as the Blu-rays of this movie release, and people have all the editing tools they need. By the way, this is more of aimed at Steven just to give him a headache. In Japan, Mario is voiced by the guy that does Riku's voice in Kingdom Hearts, and Luigi is voiced by the guy that does Yozura's voice in Kingdom Hearts.
Look, friends, we're mate. Fucking friends. Seth, we're mate. So I'm going to say this once, and I want you to really take this to heart.
No.
Kingdom Hearts.
I don't fucking care. If somebody is watching the Japanese dub of this, what's the fucking point, man?
Oh, no, I just thought it was extremely funny because both those characters look like they're just copy and pasted.
That is true, I guess.
So having both their voice actors being the Mario brothers, it's really good.
Well, when you think about it, Riku's the brother that we all wanted but never had. I got stuck with Sora.
It's true. Riku is the sexy guy we all wanted to be.
That's not what I said at all,
Henry
my friend.
Cavill, so...
Not what I said at all.
And with that, we come full circle back to Henry Cavill jokes.
Hey, all right. So anyways, I've got my shirt off, right? I'm trying to screw in the PCR thing to the RAM, and then my belly's in the way, and I don't know what to do. Save me, Henry Cavill.
If you lost that belly and replaced it with a six-pack, you might have a chance.
See, the trick is...
Then where will I rest my snacks?
No, if you do it while on your back, you can use your six-pack to store the different size screws.
Oh, yeah, one pack for each size screw. But then, like, usually at the moment, what I do is I sort of just screw a beer into there. A beer on one side, chips on the other.
I love
if
the idea
no beer,
of you building a PC, but you've got the beer cap on where it's like 2 cans of beer on a hard hat with a straw. And you're just going, and you're shirtless, of course, because why not? And you're just seeing and you're seeing which starts first. Either, I guess it's kind of a start and stop joke. Anyway, you get.
I got the picture. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's just leave it there.
Yeah, fair.
I said the funniest thing. So. Good point to end it on.
True. With that, we come to the end of the news. Do we have an audience question this
one
week?
final note. One final note on the movie.
Here he comes.
Yeah.
That's Diddy Kong in it.
I mean, yes, that wasn't going to be my one final note, but if you want to make that yours.
Yeah, sure. It's got Diddy Kong in it.
He's no longer said the funniest thing.
Yeah, no, the last trailer was like, some people held out hope that maybe, just maybe, it was that one line that Chris Pratt said that was really bad, like the "Let's go" was really bad. But no, this entire trailer has him talking a lot more throughout it, and it's just like, yeah, no, they could have got literally anyone else and it would have been better. Literally anyone else.
Could have gotten you.
H. John Benjamin would have been great.
Don't know who that is.
Archer.
Terry Crews.
Oh, Archer, cool. Yeah, that'd be that.
H. John Benjamin's Archer / Bob from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, no, that would have been really good.
It's just because he only has one voice and it's a speaking voice.
Yeah,
the man's a voice actor and he doesn't change his voice at all. It's fantastic.
Yeah, they are getting definitely big artists to sort of carry this movie.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a hire this man because his name is big and it'll sell tickets.
Surprised there's not more Marvel voices. Is that the word I'm looking for? Surprised it's not Robert Downey Jr. You know what? That's it. I'm writing a letter to Miyamoto right now. Man, that'd be such a shit movie if he was. All right. Man. Yeah, okay. I've had my winch for a bit.
Cool. Yeah, you winch?
No, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you for listening.
Sweet. Well, audience question for this week. Frosty the Snowman writes in, what's your favorite dessert? Do I have to say the next bit? Yeah,
you do have to say the next part. Frosty would want it. Frosty took the time to think of this email and send it through, and you're going to read half of it. Man, sorry, Frosty. But Sorry you got such a bad host.
Frosty the Snowman writes in and says, "What is your favorite dessert? Mine is your mother."
I don't know what's funnier, the fact that sort of Frosty the Snowman wrote that or how defeated Patrick sounded reading it out.
But that's just part of my incredible ranges of voice act.
Our very own Mario.
Wahoo.
Let's go.
Nintendo, hire this man. Favorite dessert? Well, very easy for me. I am from New Zealand, pavlova.
You know, Frosty said that his favorite was my mother, but I feel like he might also like sticky date.
Do you like sticky date?
No.
So it can't be your favorite dessert.
It can't be my favorite dessert, but I'm saying it might be Frosty's.
Right. I reckon Frosty's more of a baked Alaska guy. Or what's the other one? Ambrosia.
I've been on mute for like 5 minutes saying all this bullshit and no one's listened to me, man. Fucking idiot.
I feel like he might also...
The moment before you unmuted was me thinking, man, Steve's been quiet. He probably muted himself again, the dumbass.
I feel like Frosty might like some Puerto Rican bonbons.
Okay, so...
What the...
Okay, let's just ignore that. I don't know what the fuck those are. I reckon Frosty the Snowman is just a puddle of water at the moment. Probably not. Getting a bit warm out there.
I know, he's an American character and it's winter over there.
Yeah. But, okay, so for the sticky date pudding one, there's a plane coming overhead. That's why I keep muting myself. This is going to be great editing. Hang on, I'll wait for it to go over.
So while we're waiting on Steven, I actually don't know what my favorite dessert would be. I maybe apple pie with ice cream.
That's two desserts.
Pretty good.
It's two desserts coming together to make one.
All right. So I raise you that, and I checkmate you with a chicken curry pie with whipped cream.
That sounds. Chicken curry pie sounds like an awful dessert.
Whipped cream, but makes it okay. That made me sick just even saying it. I like the Frodo Frog ice cream.
I think this has been a valuable lesson in the critical thinking of just because you can say something out loud does not mean you should.
That's not going to stop me.
You know what, Patrick, since you went all New Zealand and pavlova, I will go for the Australian national treasure and say Golden Gate time.
Oh, fuck off.
I really thought you were about to start something and say, I will go with the Australian treasure and go with pavlova.
the true Australian treasure, Lamingtons.
Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Vegemite
on what?
On a chicken curry pie with whipped cream.
It's apple pie, but instead of apple, it's Vegemite.
Vegemite pie, eh? Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Steven strikes me as the type of person that'll just get a spoon and dig it into the Vegemite jar.
Yuck, absolutely not. I caught my dad doing that one time. It was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. It's really like a shredded cheese goblin in front of the fridge at 1 a.m, but it's Vegemite.
The shredded cheese goblin is way too relatable. In my first year at uni, when I was staying at a hall, we'd always do like a hot chocolate / like late night toast sort of run, like after a bunch of studying, and eventually turning into the degenerate that you see before you or hear before you. We got into this fun game of let's just see. It was kind of like we were bored enough that it was like, let's see what random shit we can find in a kitchen late at night, and then turn it into a meal that it wasn't even like a daring each other to eat. It was just seeing how far people would go if they were hungry enough. And I learned pretty quickly that I'm absolutely okay with just eating raw Vegemite out of a jar.
Ugh. Yeah, you're the gremlin. Are you my dad?
Wait, how old did you say you were? 8? Yeah, it could be.
Seth, you can be the weird uncle.
Wait, okay, sure.
Actually, Seth is very... I could definitely see Seth being Uncle Fester.
Don't know who that is either.
I take that as a great insult.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't, because Uncle Fester is one of the best characters. Second of all, it's Addams Family. What is wrong with you?
Oh, no, yeah, Uncle Fester's pretty cool. He was played by Christopher Lloyd.
It doesn't surprise me at all. Anyway, somehow we spent 6 minutes on this. I answered this in 30 seconds. How are we still going? Seth, favorite dessert?
Golden Gate time.
Yeah, cool. Steve,
Jinx.
favorite dessert?
Waffles with ice cream. That's this week's dessert.
God, waffles. At least pick pancakes.
Hold up. Like, I'm.
You know what?
Being,
I want to say it. I want to say something very controversial. So when I was in America, I was at a diner and I got chicken and waffles for lunch.
The fried chicken waffle combo.
Yeah, fantastic.
Maple syrup on it.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, nice.
So it was chicken, waffles, and bacon with maple syrup.
Patrick,
Mwah.
are you going to say that this is actually a Canadian invention?
No, I'm pretty sure that's very American.
Yeah, but at the same place, I stayed on, and the waitress was like, "Do you want dessert?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, what's your dessert menu?" And they had
Pumpkin
waffles
pie.
and ice cream, and then I got that, and the lady was like, "Didn't you just get waffles?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I got really ashamed, but at the same time, the waffles came out, and I finished them, and I was like,
There's a place here in Auckland called the Bald Eagle Diner, and they do chicken and waffles and like big way over the top milkshakes. And so
I love milkshakes.
Went there for a birthday celebration. Oh my god, I think that was last year now. Oh my god, that was last year. Went there for a birthday celebration a year ago. Shit, I need to go back. So good.
It's
the sort of thing that like your body will give up on you if you have it more than like once every few months. But the one time that like you're in the window where you can have it, it's great.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Wow, it looks all right. Knickerbocker Glory, eh? BED waffles.
Yeah, Bald Eagle Diner waffles.
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that looks good. Oh.
I mean, hey, you want to come around? We got some chicken, get some waffles.
Yeah, then we'll stop over in South Island and get a chur burger.
You mean Ferg Burger?
Fuck. Ferg burger, but you say chur. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you say chur to the people at Ferg Burger. Or if there's a line at Ferg Burger, you can go to Devil Burger, which is around the corner.
No, you go between like after 2 but before 5. That's what Josh and I did when we went.
Okay. Controversial for at least New Zealand. I think the best burgers that I've ever had in New Zealand are actually in Auckland from the Chosen Bun.
The Chosen Bun. Just the name.
Chosen Bun.
The Chosen Bun.
And you know what? Even crazier than that, my favorite burger is the Chosen Bun burger. $13 and absolutely delicious. Like the other burgers are great, don't get me wrong, but like in terms of the I will have 9 times out of 10 just the cheapest the Chosen Bun. It's the standard one standard Chosen Bun. So good.
Yeah. Well, can't currently take online orders. Kiwi lamb, eh?
Better than Australian lamb. Anyway, so now we've been doing 9 minutes for favorite dessert. Now we answered this at like 6 minutes. So
yeah, and we've looped back to dinner chat. Big Daddy's burgers.
You have no idea how much I want chicken and waffles now, Steve.
Also a peek behind the curtain. We've been recording for about 3 hours now.
Yeah, sorry, this is supposed to be a quiet one. All right, let's call it. Sign us off, Pat. Take us home.
I feel like putting the 3 hours into Patrick's field of view actually just broke him.
No, I'm here. I've been watching it tick up, but I've been okay with how it's been going.
It's been funny.
But hopefully that answers your question, Frosty the Snowman, whoever you may be. If you also
say hi to Mum for me.
please.
So one thing that got missed is with the sticky date pudding. I was like, oh, that's probably what happens after your mum. But the moment's passed.
That was the joke of bringing up sticky date pudding.
Oh, yeah.
You fell into my trap card.
You know what? We're not even. If this is the level of question that gets sent in, then I don't want people to get in touch. I definitely don't want people to send questions to at Fast Travel Lounge -1 of the L's on Twitter or Fast Travel Lounge on Facebook or fasttravellounge@gmail.com. And if they were there, definitely if they really wanted to mess with me, going and liking and subscribing to wherever they listen to this, because man, that would really grind my gears. Fuck you, Frosty. We're at the end of episode 52. It's been a year of content.
He's definitely getting fucked in some capacity.
So, okay, you need to stop talking. Yeah, the end of a year of content. If you're listening to 1 episode per week, crazy that we've made it this far.
This was not how we planned this episode to go, by the way.
Definitely not. But while we're here, hopefully Pokemon Chat next week. We'll have to wait and see if Josh can escape Clown College for long enough to record. We'll have to find out. But until then, I've been Patrick. I've been joined by Saif and Steve, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Good luck to Australia in the World Cup. Football is coming home.